Hold on to your mug. We're in for a wild night.
Greeting, traveler.
Welcome everybody to part 4 of our wild set review for Madness at the Darkmoon Faire. This is Nate Wolf. I'm joined by Mike Lowe, Hydralisk, and Electric Sheep City, and we are going on 7.5 hours of recording. We may match what we did last time. We still have Warlock, Warrior, and the neutral cards to go. So we'll start off with Warlock. Our first card up here is Midway Maniac. This is a 2-mana 1/5 demon with taunt. Let's see. My notes here. I just said meh 1. This is not good in anything that I want to play it in. I just don't like it. Sorry. It was a 1 for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gave it a 1 as well. There's nothing that stands out about it. Average.
Goldaniel's in the chat. I would like you to speak up if you see something that is glaringly wrong as a Warlock expert. But I
don't know if we can get this one wrong, but there's some stuff coming up that he could probably have some insight on for sure.
Yeah.
But,
well, Warlock is my favorite class. I think that there's some stuff, but I'm definitely curious to hear other opinions if we get something glaringly wrong.
I fully gave this one a 1 as soon as I saw it. But people can try to put it in some cheap zoo deck if they want. I don't know, but I'm not playing it.
Yeah,
1 for me.
This is a 1 for me as well. If it was only 1 mana, then we would have a reason to play something besides Voidwalker, but no.
Mm-hmm. All right, next up is Minari Mosher. This is a 3-mana 3/4 demon. Battlecry. Give a friendly demon +3 attack and lifesteal this turn. I don't like it. I don't know. It's interesting, but I don't know what we play it in. There are so many better demons than this one. Like 3-mana 3/4 is not bad. The Battlecry. I don't know. I just don't know where this goes at all, and I don't see myself playing it in really anything. I could see if I was playing like classic Zoolock, but it's just not good right now, I don't think. Granted, there is every once in a while it pops up like that heal zoo sort of deck.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that slots in somewhere, but like there's so many better Warlock decks that I just don't see this. Like if I get a random demon from Kazakus or something, then maybe this is cool, but I don't think I see myself playing this intentionally. I'm giving it a 1. Mike, you around? Or if you're...
Yeah, I don't...
Oh, gotcha. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't see myself playing this intentionally. Like you had mentioned before, there's so many better Warlock cards in decks that, like, rating these Warlock cards would be easier than Hunter. So, no go for me. 1.
All right, Hydra, what about you?
If this card read give a friendly minion +3 attack and lifesteal this turn, then I'd be probably more inclined to like it. But it says friendly demon, so even in zoo, like you have to make sure you have the right minion type on board. It seems a little too conditional. I mean, it's statted fine, but I don't think this goes in any deck that we're currently playing. So I'm also dropping this as a 1.
Yeah, this is a standard card. They're pushing some sort of like demon Warlock this expansion, and I will be really excited to see how it looks in standard, but we have way more powerful things to do in wild. 1.
Cool. All right, next up is Ring Matron. This is a 6-mana 6/4 demon with taunt. Death Rattle. Summon 2 3/2 imps. I had to think about this one a little bit. It's an interesting card. I suppose it could go in Reno Lock, maybe. Gosh, I'm so sorry. Wow,
Gesundheit.
that tickled my nose. I suppose it could go in a Reno Lock, but I'm not sure what you'd remove. Like, it's okay as a defensive card. Like, it's decent with Gul'dan and N'Zoth, because of the taunt and the death rattle. But like at the same time, I kind of think that it sucks in compared to the other demons that are just so much better. Like that, I mean, I give it a 2 because I don't think it's like straight up bad, but it's almost bad. So I give it a 2.
No, I disagree. I think it's garbage. I you said, so I give it a 1.
That's fine.
This class is easier than Hunter.
I also am giving this a 1. I mean, like, it's an aggressively statted taunt, right? So it's doesn't have much of a bud on it, and it doesn't make any sense to me to. So yeah, you're summoning the 3/2 whelps after, right? But then, so for your Gul'dan, you're getting more. Or it's not whelps.
They're imps. They're imps. So it
imps.
pollutes.
So Gul'dan's gonna bring back some imps instead of your void daddies or whatever, right? So I don't know. I think this just dilutes everything. I don't think it's statted correctly for what we're trying to do. So it's a 1 cost card for me, or 1 star card.
I'm surprised that they redid the artwork for the imp. It's not the normal flame imp I thought it would be. It's
like a juggling imp.
The art
It's
looks
kinda
cool.
cute, honestly.
It's a circus. It's a circus imp. It's a 2-mana 3/2 demon. It looks like the fire imp, but it's juggling fireballs. It's cute.
Yeah. Yeah, it's way too expensive. If this was a 4/6, 6-mana 4/6, then it may have some synergy with like Deck of Chaos, which we'll talk about later. But as a 6-mana 6/4, you don't even get that benefit. So that in Wild, I think this is a 1. There are some cards that are really exciting. This is unfortunately not one of them.
That sounds good. I'm really sad as a Warlock player. This makes me very sad, but that's all right.
You just have more exciting cards than for Wild than fit in the common slot.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So next up is Wicked Whispers. This is a 1-mana rare spell. Discard your lowest cost card. Give your minions +1/+1. So this is some more discard synergy. Now, I think typically when we play discard Warlock, a lot of times we want to discard our higher cost cards. Although I think that this merits testing. I think that this was created for standard because there's synergy with Boneweb Egg.
Yeah.
I think that this might be good, but I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure. Like the one time I hit Legend with discard Warlock was with you, Sheep, and I think that like I'm not quite sure. I mean, I think it's playable. I have it as a 3. Like I think that it could slot into Disco Warlock, but I want to test it out because I'm not sure. A lot of times it's conditional. So I'm not quite sure. I give it a 3. Like I think it's playable, but I'm like cautiously optimistic. I could see it going up or down. What do you think, Mike?
I'm not sure how to rate this. Because I feel like now I'm stuck between wanting to be right versus not wanting to be wrong. Like, I know it needs testing because typically, when you discard, it's like something high where we're going to draw cards, or was it Fist of Draxus deals damage? I'll give it a 2 just to play it safe. I'll give it a 2.
That's fair. Well, sometimes, right? Sometimes the lowest cost card in your hand is the 4-drop, right? I mean, it just depends. So that's what made me think like, well, okay, I don't know. Sometimes I don't want to. Sometimes I'm stuck to where like, well, maybe I don't want to discard the highest cost card because that's the one I want to play. So I don't know. The discard synergy, at least I think this is better than discard a random card. Like, so you have what this is going to discard, or at least
you always know it's definitely targeted, right? My only fear on this one is it's discard your Soulfire.
Yeah,
it's just what it reads, right?
Yeah. That could definitely happen.
just because it's most likely going to be your lowest cost card. I mean, there's other 1 cost cards in your hand all the time, but yeah, that's a bit of a fear for me with this one. But I mean, but risk versus reward, right? Like, if you have a big board and all you need is that +1/+1 for lethal, well then I guess you just Soulfire. Hopefully, don't discard this.
It depends what's
Then
on
you
your.
play this.
You have to make the like the benefit detriment analysis, right? What's on your board? Because if this can give you more than +4/+4, then it's better than a Soulfire.
And that's +4/+4 that you're about to hit face with as well, not +4/+4 that you just put down, because then your opponent will just clear your board and you won't won't likely get the 4 damage face.
I mean,
I'm gonna just get my rating on this one. I think it's a 2. I think it will see fringe play if Disco Warlock is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, it seems a little liable. You're going to discard the wrong thing because not the wrong thing. It's always going to be the right thing because you have it's targeted. But I mean, like, I don't want to discard this. Yeah, I don't know. I'm giving it a 2. I think it'll see play, just sort of fringe play in Disco Lock.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. The things that we're incentivized to discard are the more expensive things, right? Like there's the
typically
the Hand of Gul'dan and the Fist of Jaraxxus. Like the only things that you might want to discard with this are the Bone Web Egg or the Silverware Golem, and that means that you have to have no 1-drops in your hand, or 2-drops for that matter. Well,
yeah.
If you want to guarantee it, like the Bone Web Egg has to be the isolated 2-drop.
Yeah.
So I think that it just requires a different zoo deck to be built, and I don't think that zoo deck is going to be as powerful as the one that we currently have. That Disco zoo deck is going to be as powerful as one that we currently have. So I've got this as a 2 because I think that it will see some fringe play, but like this is going to be the worst version of Disco.
I almost wonder if at some point we don't start running the card that says like put 3 cards back into your hand that you discarded earlier this game.
It's just so expensive.
I know. I mean, in the big picture of Warlock decks, I don't think that Disco is better than the other ones. It's very fun and it's very explosive. I'm not. The random factor like freaks me out a little bit. It's very fun though. So, Mike, you're a little bit quiet on your end too. I don't know if you can get a little bit closer to the mic, but.
Oh, is it better now?
Oh yeah, that's way better.
Oh, I switched the outfit. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Cool. No, it's all good. Okay, so I think we're settled on this one. Let's move on. The next card here is called Free Admission. This is a 3-mana rare spell. Draw 2 minions. If they're both demons, reduce their cost by 2. I'm interested in Gul'dan's opinion on this one, especially. You have to compare this to Sense Demons, right? So Sense Demons is cost 3. It says draw 2 demons from your deck. There's no reduction, but you draw 2 demons specifically. This one says draw 2 minions. So I'm thinking, and if they're demons, you reduce them. And so I guess my question here is like, do we run this in Q block where your deck is predominantly demons? Like, I'm not sure because it could pull Willow, it could pull Canrathat, it could pull a cube, where with Sense Demons, like you're guaranteed a demon. But this has the high roll effect, right? Where that if your deck is 75% demons and you pull one, and then it costs 2 less, like that's pretty good. So I don't know. Like it's interesting for me. I think it warrants testing. And so I'm not sure. Like I think, if your demons or if your minions are mostly demons, the reduction seems good, but I need to test. I'm not quite sure if this is a 2 or a 3. I mean, I gave it a 3. It's probably a 2. I think that I don't know until I test it. Like, it could whiff big time. So where sense demons is very good because like you've got a pretty decent chance it's gonna pull a void caller on 3 so that you can play it on 4. Where this, like when it pulls your cube and your willow, you're like, oh, that is not what I wanted. So it's probably not as good. It's probably closer to a 2. So, but I'll give it a 3 anyways. I like the idea of it. Mike, what do you think?
All right, so I think because it would, like most cards that say reduce, it's better than it is as seen on surface. I'm gonna go 3. I think whatever the final build is, you purposely put demons so that when you draw whatever demons they are, they're reduced by 2. Therefore, you can succeed in whatever combination you're trying to pull off sooner. I know that the list, like I know how decks are pre-expansions. Like we do the whole hype, the reveals, we talk about it, and then the cards are available to actually try out. So I'm just speaking on the outside looking in before we get this card. My thought is whatever minions are in the deck, they're actually demons. That way, when this card hits, they're getting reduced. So I'm going to go 3. I'm going to go 3 on this card. Let's go 3.
Yeah, so I think that there's the definite chance that you can like high roll with this, right? Like we can get our Mal'Ganis cheaper, you know, we can get Void Daddies cheaper, we can get whatever we need to cheaper. And that seems like enough of an upside to want to put it in the deck. Where I struggle is what are we replacing to put in the deck? Like, are we actually, like, Sense Demons is so good, it's so targeted, right? So, like, I don't know if we're to run this, like, what we take out to put it in. But I do love the reduction. I do think we're going to play it. We're going to at least test it out. We're going to see how it goes. It's not a bad card by any means because, I mean, if we're running a predominantly demon deck, there's a really good chance we're going to discount some of those cards when we get them. And if not, we're just drawing our cubes or whatever that we need, right?
Well,
so I think it's... Sorry?
I was just going to say there's a version of this popping up semi-recently that's essentially cube lock without the cubes. And you could potentially pull this because there's ways to cheat out your giant demons for relatively cheap. If you're running something like that, you potentially swap this card for Sense Demons, maybe. It's sort of a build around. Like, I don't know. It requires so much testing. I really don't know.
I'm going to go with it's playable because the way our rating system works is it's a playable card. Is it playable in a meta deck? I don't know. That would be a 4. So this is a 3 as it's a playable card, at least for now. And and maybe even in the future when we refine like a full-on demon deck, right? If that's just what we're drawing into. So I'll go with a 3.
Yeah. So I think that Sense Demons has a lot of upsides that this doesn't, right? Because you want to be able to tutor draw so that you can play your Void Caller on 4, or so that you can hit things with your Skull of the Minari on 5 or afterwards, right? So the fact that this doesn't guarantee the draw of the demons is, I think, a detriment. And yeah, you can high roll to, reduce cost by 2. But if you, don't high roll and then you get like a cube and, something else that you don't necessarily need, like the Healy dude, the 1 mana 2/2. It just, yeah, you drew your minions, so your further draws are better, but I would much rather be running Sense Demons. And I don't think that, Demon Warlock is going to be playable in Wild whatsoever. I can see where this is going, and the high roll potential I think is there, but I don't think that it's going to be, I think that people will test it And I think that once it has been tested, we will discard this card. I'm gonna have to go 1 on this one personally.
I think you're probably right, and the reason behind it is that with Sense Demons, you almost don't care what the cost is. Like,
Right.
I want the demon because I want to play my Void Caller on 4, and all the other ones are expensive on purpose because I'm going to cheat them out. Like, the cost doesn't even matter because I'm going to cheat it out with the Void Caller. I'm going to cheat it out with the Skull, or cheat it out with Willow. Like, the cost is irrelevant. So,
Or the
Yeah,
Deck
if we're
of
totally
Chaos.
playing this on curve, we definitely want to be drawing demons.
Mhm.
well, and it doesn't matter, right? Because if I draw this and like, okay, Mal'Ganis costs 7 instead of 9, like, I still can't play it, and Skull's still going to pull it, and then my
Right.
reduction is meaningless. Like, so,
Exactly.
you know, I mean, there's the argument against it. So we'll see. I mean, I agree. I think it merits testing, but I'm talking
I agree.
myself. I think now I like kind of talking myself out of it, but
I think it merits testing, and I'm just taking the foresight that after testing, we'll decide no.
probably you're probably right. Okay, next up is Fire Breather. This is a 4 mana 4/3 demon. Battlecry, deal 2 damage to all minions except demons. So this is, I suppose, probably the top end of some kind of Demon Zoo sort of deck, as an intended board clear for your opponents. But like, I don't think that this is really good enough for anything that we're running in Wild. Like, Dark Glare is running a bunch of non-demon stuff. In fact, Dark Glare has been running Sense Demons specifically to pull Dark Glare. Like, there's not a bunch of other demons in the deck. And like, Demon Zoo is just not a thing right now. So I don't see how this is good. And I certainly don't want to bring this back with Blood Reaver Gul'dan. So I think that this is kind of a no for me. The gold art probably looks awesome, but that's it. Oh, sorry. Did I give it a score? It's a 1. It's definitely a 1 for me. Mike, what do you think?
Once again, Nate Wolf takes my entire argument because all I was gonna say was that I bet the artwork is pretty sweet in gold. Yeah, this is a 1.
Yeah, I full agree. I feel like maybe some sort of Demon Zoo in Standard might play this card, but I ain't playing this card in Wild, so hard pass. 1.
So she looks like she's breathing out a skull. The flavor text reads, "Phew,
Voldemort?
that skull has been stuck in my teeth for hours."
Damn, it's
flavor-
green.
The flavor text is amazing. This is a 1-star card though.
Yeah, that's funny. I like it. All right. Next up is Revenant Rascal. This is an epic minion, 3 mana, 3/3. It is not a demon. It says Battlecry, destroy a mana crystal for both players. I don't like this card. Here, one of my notes says, this card sucks. It's not a demon. I would rather play Mojo Master Zihi if I wanted to pull off this effect.
Yeah.
Which I don't. So this is a 1 for me.
1.
I originally had it as a 2 because it could be super annoying if you're going to run some sort of zoo style deck, but it doesn't have any synergy with anything, so I guess I'm going to plop her to a 1.
I am so glad that I'm not alone here. Like, everyone was hyping this card up, and it's like, if your opponent has 10 mana, then like the next turn they gain their mana crystal back. It's fine. Like,
Who's hyping this card up?
I can't recall exactly where. It was
Other
Discord
people.
places.
Oh, now you're protecting them. That's okay. It's okay. You can protect them from me.
There it is.
I mean, here's the thing, right? Zihi is so much better because it brings people down to 5, and
Right.
it's even cost. So if I really wanted to be disruptive, then I play it in even Warlock. And this card is just not like, I don't see the. If I wanted to play disruption, I'd play the 2 mana 3/2 that makes your spells cost more next turn, whatever it's
Yeah.
called.
Cursed, whatever.
I don't know. People are playing it sometimes in
Yeah.
stuff, but it just doesn't seem very good to me.
Yeah. But in case you couldn't deduce, this is a 1-star card for me as well.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Sad Warlock. Okay, next up, I love this. I love this card. I don't know that it's very good, but I love the card, at least the artwork and the idea. Cascading Disaster. This is a 4-mana epic spell. Destroy a random enemy minion. Corrupt, destroy 2. Corrupt again, destroy 3. So I think this is one of the only probably 2 cards in the set that can be corrupted multiple times. The other one is one that can be corrupted, quote unquote, unlimited, even though there's a cap on it. But so I like the idea of this. I don't. So is there 3 different card arts for this? Since you can corrupt it multiple times, that'd be interesting.
It only shows us
Yeah, I think there is 3
one
because
additional, but I'm sure that there is a third.
I think Imic had showed me. I'm pretty sure there's a 3rd.
Yeah, I'm sure that there is. The official site only shows 1.
Yeah, so I think that there's potential here. Like, maybe we try this in Reno Lock, but there's no room in Cube or any other Warlock deck that I'm aware of. At the same time, like, I think that Warlock in general has better removal than this. I think that Darkest Hour, or not Darkest Hour, I mean, what is it? Plague of Flames. I think that the Defile, like there's so many better board clears than this. And the fact that it's random enemy minion makes it kind of risky to me. I'm going to give it a 2 because I think it's fringe playable, but without testing it, I don't know. And I think that the random factor makes me nervous that like Warlock has better removal than this.
Yeah, English is hard, so I didn't even pay attention that it says random. So Nate just said it.
Yeah.
So I'm glad we're doing this reviews, all 10 classes, real slow, so I can hear each card through. I'm gonna give this card a 1.
Yeah,
I can't wait to dust this. I want to dust this so bad right now.
Yeah, but you won't get your achievement for having the full set.
The struggle is real.
Wait until you get the full set and then dust it. There you go.
Then dust.
Well, yeah, that I got questions about that for next episode of Born to Be Wild.
Ooh, okay.
Okay, so I gave this a solid 1 star. I said standard card possibly. Lists in Wild are way too tight to try to slot this in. So I don't feel like I'm cutting anything to put this in a Warlock deck in Wild. So
Yeah, I think you're right.
like I just like yeah, sounds cool. I can kill 3 big things for 4 mana. That's great. What am I taking out? So
Plague of Flames? No.
no,
Defile? No.
no thanks. Yeah, Dark Skies?
Dark Skies?
Nope.
No.
They should have gave this to like the hunter class.
Yeah.
This would be a great hunter card.
This would be a really good hunter card, but as a Warlock card, it is a 1 for me as well.
Right on.
All right.
But
Okay.
the flavor text is please keep all hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the ride until the monster comes to a complete stop.
That's funny.
That's pretty good. Okay,
All right.
I think we got some interesting stuff coming here now.
All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go. The deck
Oh,
of
is it time?
This is we get into the Warlock legendaries. Okay, so first up is Deck of Chaos. This is a 6-mana legendary spell. Swap the cost and attack of all minions in your deck. This is a 5 for me, and I will tell you why. I will tell you why.
Oh,
This is a 5. Void Daddy, Void Lord becomes a 3-mana 9/9.
Yep.
Malygos becomes a 4-mana 9/12.
Yep.
Witch Willow becomes a 5-mana 8/5. Dreadlord becomes a 5-mana 8/7. Like, okay, the downside to this card, it reminds me of Skull because you take a massive tempo loss by playing it. But all Ben -50. Okay. So you take it requires testing. In theory, I like the idea. Now, it's very slow, right? It's very slow. You take a tempo loss by playing this, but I think it has potential. And where I see this more so is in like a Malygos Warlock, because right now, like we spent some time playing Mallylock earlier this month. Daniel and I and Igna and some other folks online, and that's the tricky part, right? How do I reduce Mali low enough to play a bunch of spells into an OTK? And there's some things that you can do with the Dark Portal. There's some things that you can do with Emperor Thorison. But even then, like, it's not quite, it's difficult. By this, like, you could potentially play the cheap Maligos and then have, like, not need a cost reduction on all of your other spells to do an OTK. Is the card really slow? Yeah. And that's the problem, I think, is that Wild is so refined, especially the aggro decks, like on 6 mana, where you're dying to aggro druid and the other aggro decks. That's a problem. But, like, yeah, so is it a win more? Maybe. Like, do I need to play a Dreadlord for 5 mana instead of 7? Like, I don't know. If I'm playing this on 6, so I don't know. I still think it's rad. I like the idea. I'm probably wrong at a 5, but, like, it's so cool. And I think that I score it so high because I think that it can be played in multiple archetypes. It's like, I could see playing it in Reno Lock. I could see playing it in Cube. I could see playing it in Malygos, which I really would like to play some Malygos Warlock. And so,
Yeah.
It feels particularly busted to me. I agree. Now, the downside to it is it only affects minions in your deck, not in your hand, and that is a problem. I do agree with that. That's a downside. But so is it hovering somewhere between a 4 and a 5? But I do feel like it's slow, but I like it. I'll stand with my score. It's probably wrong, but I will stand with it.
What do you think, Mike?
All right, to shake all the negativity out of the chat. Not every game plays at tier 1 speed, so I'm not gonna think, oh, this is insanely slow, it's automatically trash, because not every game is that fast, right? There are a lot of games where it's like mid-level to slow. So swapping the attack for health, to me, is pretty genius. If this card is slow, what's the point of playing Luna's Pocket Galaxy? Like, over time, people find a way to make it work. So I'm not going to sit here and focus on the cost of it if it's slow, because Warlock, if you guys, we know as people doing the podcast, like, they make Warlock cards crappy, most of them, because there's Reno Lock, there's Cube Lock, there's so many archetypes in the set. They're making cards for standard, so they're not looking at wild, but, like, this card right here could actually break something open, or it could just be crap. I saw somebody on Reddit, I gotta find the link. They were talking about what's that card called? Summoning Stone, like playing it for 5, and Warlock having a lot of different spells where you could play a different type of style there if Malygos was not to work. I think the card has potential, so I give it a 3. I'm not gonna just jump off the bandwagon and just say it's crap right away. Like, it's a brand new set. We gotta try it out.
Okay, so my initial reaction is I put this as a 5 as well. And then I wrote beside it, "Ask Nate, this is probably crazy." is what my I think that there's a lot of potential here, and as Mike said, Luna's, right? Like, that only affects stuff in your deck, right? And mages play that card, and they didn't really play it a lot before it was buffed, and then once it was buffed, everyone was playing it, and then it got reverted, and then people kept playing it, right? So, I mean, man, like, yeah, sure, if you sense demons, you've kind of pulled stuff out of your deck, that kind of sucks, right? Like, you sense demons, now you're pulling things out, and then you're playing this later, but maybe you just want bigger bombs later on. I think it's possibly broken. Like, yeah, you're taking a bit of maybe a turn off to do it, But
That's my
I think
only
it's-
concern. Yeah, is that it's a win more, right? Because that takes your entire turn.
but Aluneth is awesome, and you take that
Mm-hmm.
turn off too, right?
And
Yep.
Skull of the Minari is awesome, but you take that turn off.
Yeah. So I'm gonna stick with what I put. I did put 5 when I looked at this yesterday, and I'm gonna stay with my 5 because I think that like those cards, like Aluneth, like Pocket Galaxy, like Skull, like I think it's a slam dunk. So 5.
Yeah, I think Deck of Chaos is extremely strong. Like being able to not just discount the cost, but also buff the attack for your big boy demons is awesome. I don't think this defines the meta, but I think that this makes an already existing archetype, if not stronger, then it shores up a strength while giving it a different weakness. And I think that's incredibly strong. I think it's going to be played in meta decks. Malagos Warlock might become a thing. Reno Lock, I think, will run this. Like, hey, you now have a 4-mana 6/6 Reno. Okay. That's awesome.
I love that 3-mana 9/9 Void Daddy.
Right? Like, oh my gosh, that's incredible. Defining the meta? No. Very strong? Yes. In meta decks, absolutely. This is going to be a 4-star card for me.
Yeah, I think the hard part, right, is that you can't tutor for it. Like the turtle, Turtle Mage, like you can play Lunas for free essentially, right? Where this is going to be like you have to hard cast this and you're going to have to find it. But like if you can do it, I don't know. I like the idea. Go Daniel, what did you score this? I'm curious.
And the flavor text is, yeah, it's chaos, but it's organized chaos.
Organized chaos.
I mean, also you could like Blood Bloom and play it, so it's cheaper. Costs your health instead
True.
That's funny. All right.
Oh, Gold Daniel says 5 insane.
Woo, go us.
Love it.
All right, so
I hope that it is. That'll be sick.
so there's a little bit of a disagreement between Ben and Gold Daniel. I do think Ben has some good points here because it does not have a tutor. It does not have Warlock doesn't have ice block. But no, it's cool. I mean, we'll see. So. Oh, cool. Do we got to get Meowth raid? Sweet,
We
dude.
got Meowth up in here.
We got another raid.
Hey,
Damn.
that's very cool. Hey, thank you. Get
How much
Meowth.
is that?
Appreciate it.
161?
That's
Holy
awesome.
crap.
Yeah, it basically is a Luna's Pocket Galaxy, sort of, for Warlock. But I'm just so pumped
Holy crap.
to try this with Malagos that I'm excited. All right,
It'd be so much fun.
All right, so we've got one more Warlock legendary here. It's Thicketus, right? It's a 6-mana 8/8 demon. Battlecry, remove the top 5 cards from your deck. Corrupt, remove the top 5 cards from your opponent's deck instead. Yeah, so this is interesting to me. I like the idea. I think in Warlock in general, this is not all that difficult to corrupt. The downside is, right, you're gonna it's gonna turn into an 8-mana 6/8.
Yeah. It's gonna swap.
No, the demon tag is actually a little bit of a problem because
That's the problem.
The skull is gonna pull it. Your void caller is gonna pull it. That being said, it's an 8/8 demon, but like you wouldn't get the battle cry. I mean, it reminds me a little bit of the Kel'Thas Prime, where sometimes your skull pulls it, but it still is what, a 7/8 or whatever, or 7/6. This is an 8/8. So, but the idea of it is pretty cool. Like if I've got this corrupted in my, where I see running this really is like in a Reno Lock deck.
Mm-hmm.
Where it would kind of be fun, your opponent plays Pole Celt or something like that, and then you mill 5 cards. Like, that's pretty cool. But like, wouldn't you just run Nosferatu instead? Because you can't play this on curve. Like, I can't, if I want to corrupt this, like, I can't play it until, minimum turn 8 if I want the corrupt. And so, like, I think that this is fun. I think that there's some cool stuff here. I think it's actually pretty difficult to pull off. I want to test it. Like, I really love the idea here. It's definitely a big boy. I give it a 3. I'm just not sure how this works, and I don't think that I don't know. There's definitely some disruption potential here. And yeah, but what do you put this in? It's difficult to play it, and it's awfully slow. So it's I'll give it a 3, unfortunately. Mike, what do you think?
Yeah, same here. I was gonna say a 2 or a 3. Like, initially, like, when all the cards are getting revealed, it seems cool. Like, Battlecry, this will destroy your top 5 of yours, corrupt top 5 of theirs. If you got Braun, that's 10 cards of theirs. But it does take a lot of setup. I would love to be
dope.
Yeah, the corrupted art is pretty cool. Like, I'd love to be wrong, and it's easier to pull off, and it's much smoother. Because the ultimate idea is Raza Priest runs the ladder. So, they play a Pole Celt, assuming they didn't draw the top end, and then you get to burn the top 5. So there goes, like, Scream, there goes the hero, there goes Raza, all the fun stuff.
Yeah, it's just slow.
But that's like really, really fringe and niche in one small corner of this ladder. So I'll give it a 2.
Yeah, I think the problem is mostly the fact that it is a demon. If this wasn't a demon, I would rate this way higher. It gets pulled from your skull and your void collar, and it's cool, 8/8. But I mean, you put this in your deck because you wanted. I mean, I guess it's kind of dual purpose that way. But if you're up against aggro and you pull out an 8/8, they're like pretty sad that you just pulled an 8/8 out. But I really don't see it being effective when you accidentally pull it when you're against control or combo. I mean, you want to be able to actually play this from hand. So it seems like it's not going to be meta to me. So that completely eliminates it as being a 4. I think it is playable, but it's going to be a little niche. So it might go fringe for me. It might drop down to a 2, even though it's super awesome, unfortunately. So I'm going to give it a 2.
Let me ask, is there any sort of like Togwaggle or something that you could, like, where you mill yourself and then you swap decks? I don't know that we can pull that off in Warlock. It's probably too hard to do.
It's getting too difficult.
It's certainly not mainstream, but
I mean, maybe with Deck of Chaos, if you have Azalina still in your deck, so that way you can Tic-Tactus to, continue to burn your stuff once you have Azalina and Togwaggle in your hand, but then you would need for sure to have Azalina and Togwaggle still in your deck when you Deck of Chaos. And it'll make for an awesome Trollden clip, but it won't be a ladder deck for sure.
Yeah.
But it'll make for an awesome Trollden clip.
This would be rad if it was an 8-mana 8/8 that just straight up milled your opponent. But like having to corrupt it first, and the demon tag kind of kills it, unfortunately.
What did you give it, Sheep?
I went with a 3 because I really like it, and it is going to see a decent amount of play because of that kind of like esports moment that everyone kind of wants to chase, and it's going to feel really good when it happens. So I mean, like, in all actuality, it's probably a 2, but for just how much people are going to play it because of how fun it is, I think that we're going to see enough of it to where, at the very least, for this next expansion, it'll be a 3. It's not going to be as crazy strong and as crazy like consistent and all that as we would like it to be, but we're gonna see it, and it's not gonna feel good to happen to you, and it's gonna feel great to do it. So we're gonna see it.
Yeah. All right. Well, that wraps us up with Warlock. So now we move on to Warrior. And
Warrior class.
Yep. Okay, so first up, let's see. First up is Minefield. This is a 2-mana common spell. Deal 5 damage, randomly split among all minions. So this includes your minions and your opponent's minions. So this seems okay in a control warrior build, though it's not odd. I'm not sure what other deck it goes in. Probably none. I scored this one a 1. I do like the artwork. That is definitely the Darkmoon Tonk on that art.
You scored it a what? Sorry.
A 1. It's cool, but like it hits your stuff too. And like I could see playing it in Odd Warrior, but it's not an odd cost. And I think that like I don't really want to play it in other warrior stuff, like a more aggressive warrior. So I don't know. I feel bad for it. Like I like the idea of it, but if it hits your stuff too, I just don't see it.
Mike, what do you think?
Oh, you're muted, Mike.
Apologies, I had to step outside. All right. So I heard what Nate said, and looking at Minefield, like it deals 5, split among all minions for 2. I'm not sure what minions I'm looking to kill with only 5, because a lot of 2 healths out there. Then we're talking about 3s and 4s, and I know I always revert back to aggro druid, but man, that thing kicks my butt daily. So it's just something I got to use for example. And like, am I gonna like play this? Like, I don't think so. So I give this a 1.
So I gave this a card a 1 as well. Actually, I wrote 1 and then boo was what I wrote. Though we found out, I think it was in the reveal stream or one of the announcements, that this card was actually changed last minute.
Yeah.
It was 2 mana shuffle 2 bombs into your opponent's deck, I believe.
Yep.
That would have been so much better.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Very
and so
much
they
so.
changed it because Bomb Warrior came back in standard, apparently. So then they changed it. That would have been great. I would have voted that way higher. But
dude. Yeah.
I guess it's a 1. Boo for me. How about you, Sheep?
Yeah, if it was the old one, it would have been a 4, but it's not. So it is a 1 for me as well.
Sad.
It has so much potential.
Yeah. All right.
Squandered.
Next up is Stagehand. This is a 2-mana 3/2 mech. Battlecry. Give a random minion in your hand +1/+1. So I think this is intended to as like a hand buff card for the new archetype Menagerie Warrior. Probably meant for standard. I do think that we may try a little bit of Menagerie in Wild, although I don't know how good it will actually be. Generally speaking, I do not think that hand buff is very good. But we're seeing this kind of Menagerie style doing hand buff type stuff. And so I don't really know what to make of this yet, because this is a new archetype. And yeah, I sort of agree with Praise Chicken Drumstick that the Menagerie synergies won't be better than Pirate Warrior or Galakron Warrior. Like, I don't know. I'm not sure. I gave it a 2. I think maybe some fringe play. Like, will it warrant a little bit of testing? Yeah, I don't think it's particularly strong. So I don't know. I gave it a 2. I guess we'll see. It probably will see 0 play. You're probably right.
Yeah. Give a random, like those 3 words in that order. I'm gonna give this card a 1. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm not playing any sort of, I don't know, low to the ground mech style warrior right now. I don't think anybody is. We're gonna keep playing pirates or Galakron if we're gonna be playing these cheap minions. So, I don't really see it. Unfortunately, I love the art though. I'm looking at a golden version here that they have on Hearthstone. It looks kind of cool.
I bet.
But yeah, 1. Sorry.
Yeah.
The flavor text, because he's a stagehand, he's holding a whole bunch of props. The flavor text is holds everything himself because people wouldn't stop touching the prop table. Great flavor text. Amazing. Yeah, this is a 1-star card for me though.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. Next up, we have Sword Eater. This is a 4-mana 2/5 pirate with taunt, battlecry, equipped a 3/2 sword. It's a pirate. It equips a fiery war axe and a 2/5 body for 4. Like, it seems like good value. And it has taunt, but not great. Like, I don't know. In Pirate Warrior, I don't know. Like, there's other stuff that I want to play, and I'm not quite sure where this like fits into that. I think it's possible, but not great. I gave it a 2.
So
Mike,
I'll give it.
what do you think?
Yeah, I'll give it a 2 based on it being a pirate, and that it has taunt, but it costs 4. It doesn't cost 0, so it's not a 0-mana taunt like the other pirate. Upside, it'll give you a weapon. So yeah, you could be in that spot where, like, I don't know, you need some damage, you need lethal, and then you play that 1/2 that produces a taunt, or you play this, it gets you a weapon. If that 1/2 produces this, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think the upside is that it does give you a weapon, but the 4 mana kind of throws me off.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
I'll give it
how much does the
give it a 2.
fiery Winax cost these days?
It's
costs
3 mana.
it's a 3.
So this is 1 more mana for
a 2/5 taunt.
yeah.
But you don't run Fiery War Axe in that deck, though.
No, you don't.
That's true.
Yeah,
You used to.
You used to. But it was cheaper.
Well, that's why this is confusing for me. I mean, I hit Legend with Pirate Warrior, I don't know, I guess about 6 months ago, and like, I don't know, the deck is pretty low to the ground, and the synergies, like, it's pretty good. My question is, what do you take out? Like, in the 4-mana slot, I play the one that buffs my weapon, right? I don't remember what it's called, but and so does this take its place? Like,
No.
I don't really think so, but like, it's a lot of value for 4 mana. The taunt seems okay, because I guess if the other deck is having to run into this guy, then they're not running into your other minions, which can all go face. I
will be very excited to see it from Sky Raider. That was my note whenever I was taking notes. I will be very excited to see this from Sky Raider.
Yeah. Hydra, what was your score on this? Did you talk about this one yet?
I've not talked about it because I'm extremely conflicted. Because the amount of stats that you get for this, for 4 mana, here is it's insane. You get a lot. How proactive are you being? Not very, but the taunt does protect whatever you already have on board. So, like, you can have explosive turns with Pirate Warrior, right? Like, you can wait your first couple turns, like past turn 1, maybe even past turn 2, because you got cannon, and then you're gonna you're just gonna puke everything out onto the board, right? On, say, turn 3. Then you can, like, drop this, have a bigger weapon, because you probably have Nizos for Smate's little rusty hook or whatever it's called up, so you don't care about that. You can have a 3/2 instead, and you can protect your whole board with this.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty nuts. Whether that's good, I don't know, but I'm not going to say it's playable in a meta deck. I'm going to be a little optimistic. I'm going to give it a 3 because I don't think it's a bad card. Whether it's playable in a meta deck, I'm not sure. But that's where I like to rely on our little rating system we got. I feel like it is a playable card.
Yeah, I feel like it's playable, but I feel like you're not going to really want to put this in your Pirate Warrior to begin with, because you're wanting to be, feels weird to say, more proactive than equipping a Fiery War Axe and a 2/5 taunt. Like, there are things that you do that discount things. There are things that you do that buff things. This one equips a new weapon. Like, it's strong, and you're never going to feel bad about getting it from Sky Raider. You're definitely not. and it's it's not a bad card by any stretch of the imagination, but
Wild
I
is so
can't think of
refined,
what I
though,
would
right?
See, yeah. So my
Yeah.
thing is, it's probably a good standard card,
right.
right?
I think it's a great standard card.
I think it's an amazing standard. Yeah, I'm gonna actually bounce down to a 2. It's sad because the amount of stats you get for 4 mana is ridiculous on this, but
It's not
I
good
guess
enough.
it's not good enough. So I'm gonna go to a 2.
Yeah, and that is the conclusion that I came to as well.
All right.
2 for me as well.
All right.
And the sword that he has is called Jawbreaker because he's
Pretty
been
funny.
biting it. It's great.
That's great. Okay, next up is Stage Dive. This is a 1 mana rare spell. Draw a rush minion, corrupt, give it +2/+1. I think that for me personally, like, I would rather play Town Crier for the body, plus draw the rush minion for the same cost. But this isn't necessarily bad. Personally, I think that it's meant for standard. I think that there's possibility here, but it's not great. I would give it a 2. Mike, what do you think?
All right, so I've been playing some Odd Warrior. I like athletic studies. Surprisingly, there's a lot of cool rush minions that I like to play once I've spent 6 turns slamming the hero power. With that said, I don't know if I would put those rush minions in my deck, nor could I, because some of them are even cost. This card, like you guys were saying, probably like more towards standard. Yeah, I don't know what rush minion I want to draw in Wild. And
Well,
+2 it but
Celiac.
no, like what I'm saying is like I don't know what rush minion I want to draw to give it +2 attack. Like you said, I'd
Zillion.
rather play Town Crier. and
Yeah,
give it body.
or Scion of Ruin. It would be pretty good in
Yeah.
a Galakron.
Ziliax in particular like heals you, so that's the only reason why I can see that being a serious consideration.
I will say it's very,
If-
very
so
easy
if
to
we're doing
corrupt, right?
Ziliax,
Yeah.
yeah, if we're doing Ziliax and Odd Warrior, me, I play like long game. I'm waiting until I can get like other mechs to combine it with. That's just me.
Yeah.
But I do get what you're saying too.
hmm
Stage Dive allows you to tutor Undasta and Armani Warbear in big Beast Warrior without risk of recruit pulling Town Criers. Well, there you go.
Wow. Yeah. So with that said, I'll give it a 1.
I think that there's potential here. Like in some warrior decks, like you're not really doing much on 1. This is like extremely easy to corrupt. And so drawing, like where I see this is in a Galakron, where you could draw either the Zilly or you could draw the Scion of Ruin, and a buff to either of those is pretty good.
Yeah.
The question is like, what do you cut? And like, do you play this instead of Town Crier? Do you play it with Town Crier? Instead of like, I don't know, right? I don't know. I'm at a little bit of a loss on this one. I could see increasing it to a 3. I mean, we know that tutors are good, right? And I think that in certain decks, like I'm only playing a couple rush cards, right? And so pretty much what this is gonna pull. So it feels like a tutor to me. I mean, I scored it as a 2. I think you could increase it to a 3 and be fine. I'm just like I'm not a big warrior player, and I'm not really quite sure how to play this. Somewhere between a 2 and a 3, I think is where I'd land.
Yeah.
And Mike voted it too. Okay, so I'm gonna give this a 2. I think that it is definitely fringe playable to get your Ziliax. You can wait. You can easily corrupt this. It's a 1-cost card, so it's corruptible extremely easily. You can wait to when you want to do it. It seems great. I don't know if this is going to be seeing play all the time. I mean, in Wild, I like to think that we play Charge more than we play Rush. You know.
Yeah,
So-
well, they're not really making charge cards anymore.
Exactly. So, yeah, I guess they're not going to be really adding to it, but right now, I guess there's like the Galakron with the Scion, and that's pretty cool. And Ziliax is awesome. Those aren't the decks I necessarily see all the time, though Galakron is pretty crazy, can be. But I'm going to give this a 2 as fringe playable. It doesn't have a body like Towncrier, but it has the benefit of possibly giving the buff. So it's a 2 for me. We'll see.
Yeah, I can see a number of pretty strong places to play this. Galakron Warrior, maybe a new N'Zoth Warrior, where the only mech that you're running is Ziliax. And the only dragon you're running is Scion. You would obviously run Galakron in that one as well. Or maybe Tent Trasher, who knows. But like it's a really interesting card. It buffs things. Is it going to be meta? That's what I'm not sure. I think it's super playable. Because, I mean, Towncrier is straight up played right now, and if you're buffing something that then has Rush, like, that's pretty valuable.
You know what? Yeah.
So I think, like, on my notes, I have written down 2, but I think I've talked myself into a 3, just because I think that it fits a niche that is already there and can just be, if not improved upon, added to. And I think that's valuable.
Yeah, I think I'd like to increase mine to a 3 as well. And here's my thought, right? I like that it's very easy to buff. A lot of times I'll ask myself the question, if I top deck this, am I happy to see it? Am I not happy to see it? Like, if I have it early game, it's extremely easy to corrupt. If I top deck this late game, like, I don't mind seeing this because I can play it immediately and draw into my Scion or my Ziliax or whatever other rush minion that I have. And I like that for tempo. And so I think that this is actually fairly strong. So yeah, I think this is actually pretty good the more I think about it. All right. Next up is Bumper Car. This is a 2-mana 1/3 mech with Rush. Death Rattle, add 2 1/1 riders with Rush to your hand. I don't know. I don't really know what to think about this. It is a mech. It doesn't seem, I don't know. It doesn't seem that great to me. I think that we're looking at like this standard menagerie warrior where you're looking for like this hand buff like type stuff, and with the new N'Zoth maybe to bring back different type of things. I just don't see how this is good in Wild at all. Like the deck's just way too refined to play this. So I'm giving it a 1.
Oh, you cut out. You're giving it a what?
A 1. Sorry, a 1.
No worries.
Yeah, so I give it a 1 as well. It's got cool artwork. It reminds me of this place up here in New Hampshire. It's called Canopy Lake Park. It's this little theme park, and it's got this little bumper car area. This just reminds me of it. So memories aside, I give this card a 1.
All right, Hydra.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Hydra, you're muted, by the way.
It's definitely a nerf to discovering mechs. I've been playing some Odd Warrior, and you can find some cool mechs. This sucks.
This is not one of them.
This is definitely a 1 for me. It does not slot into anything that is meta. I don't think it creates a new archetype. I don't think it's fringe playable. So that eliminates everything except for 1. So
Yeah,
it's a 1.
Even the 2 1/1s that it adds to your hand are not mechs. So it's like, cool, I get this 1 mech, which I guess I could bring back because the tokens that it makes aren't mechs, but like I don't want to bring this back. No, this is 1.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. That was easy. Okay. Next up we have Feat of Strength. This is a 3-mana rare spell. Give a random taunt minion in your hand +5/+5.
Yo, look at this card art. This looks sick.
The card art is very good.
So I can already tell that
right.
Mike's giving it a 1.
Jokes aside, even though it might be bad, but it looks cool.
Yeah.
It does look cool. I put Taunt Warrior Returns LOL Super Fringe and gave it a 2. Now I remember back in the day, maybe this was a year or so ago, out of nowhere, like no one had touched Taunt Warrior or Quest Warrior in a long time, and Reno Jackson pulled it, dusted it off, pulled it out of the closet, played it, made a version that was not bad, and I played it for a while that month, trying to farm warrior wins, and it's not bad. It's just like this is a complete lack of tempo turn.
Yeah.
This is not really what I mean, I'm giving it a 2 because I think it'll see Fringe play in that deck maybe, but like it probably is deserving of a 1. And maybe the extra point because the artwork is nice.
There it is.
But I don't really see it being played. Like I just it's probably doesn't work for what we want it for. Like a tier 5 archetype.
Mike, did you give your rating?
Yeah, so this right here, my man right here, look, he looks like he's blocking like some kind of Dragon Ball Z attack. Look at him saving Earth right here. This is crazy.
No joke though.
If this was like, if this had like corrupt something, maybe I'd be a little interested. But I guess all jokes aside, yeah, this is a 2.
Feel pretty confident that I'm not going to run into anybody ever playing this if we're playing on like competitive wild ladder. So I'm going to go, this is a 1.
This
Doesn't
like,
strike, it won't strike fear in your heart when you see this?
the one time that someone plays this, I'm going to be yelling at the screen, "This is bad. Don't play this. Why are you using this? Don't do this."
Yeah,
And then
it's
as I'm
horrible,
losing
dude.
to it, yeah.
This card is not good in wild. This is 1 star for me as well. Like
In a bolster deck.
You know what
exactly.
card- Yo, you know what card is probably good? Like
Your face?
whatever creature is sending the attack at this guy. Like whatever card that is.
Yeah.
That's probably a good card.
That's funny.
That probably goes face.
Yeah, probably. All right. Let's move on then. The next one up is here is the Ringmaster's Baton. This is an epic weapon, 2 mana, 1/3. After your hero attacks, give a mech, dragon, and pirate in your hand +1/+1. Yeah. So, I thought this was bad, and then I watched the reveal live stream, and like it because it buffs. This is not just a give a random minion in your hand +1/+1. This is give up to like 3 different minions +1/+1.
Yeah.
So I think that the potential is not bad for a 2 mana weapon. Although I do think that it relies on this new like menagerie archetype, which for wild, like it hasn't been done before. So I think that there's potential. I've seen a couple people so far post some Theorycraft wild menagerie decks. I think Labore Sangre was one, and I think Ben from work had the other one. But like I'm just not sure. I'm not quite sure how good this is without any playable testing. And frankly, I don't remember the cards that were in those 2 decks offhand. I'd have to pull them up. So I'm not sure. I mean, I think it requires testing. The new archetype, I don't know how good it is. I think that this is definitely playable, more so in standard than wild. I have it scored as a 3. It's probably a 2.
32.
But yeah, 32. This is a 32 for me. I'll give it a 3, but that's like an optimistic 3. It's probably not worth that much. Mike, what do you think?
I think because it's brand new. And you know what, like by default it's got 4 lines of text. I got a good feeling because there's good mechs, there's good dragons, and there's good pirates. I feel like they're pushing this archetype, and like this might be better than Beast Priest or Free Shaman.
Yeah, it's definitely better than Beast Priest.
So maybe like it'll see some play like in the first week or two, and hopefully this expansion doesn't make it where people just default back to aggro druid and Raza priest in 20 days. But I'll put this at a 2. I'll give it some shine.
Okay, so I don't really know what the whole plan is here. Maybe we're gonna bring back Alex Strauss as champion because we're gonna have dragons in our hand or something. But this is like the slowest buff ever. So it's like 2 mana, and then you spend 3 turns slowly buffing whatever's in your hand while people punch you in the face. And you have you've got like a 1 attack weapon. I don't know. To me, it seems like garbage. So I'm gonna give it a 1.
Okay. So the flavor text is a mech, a dragon, and a pirate walk into an old god's gaping maw. The mech was too crunchy, the dragon was too hot, but the pirate was just right. Which I thought was hilarious.
That's a lot of flavor text.
It really is.
All they had to say was a mech, a dragon, and a pirate walk into a bar. Like they could have just stopped.
But they gave us like a legit punchline.
I know, that's pretty good.
Like it was perfect.
That's
This card, however, is not. Like, don't get me wrong.
Text?
yeah.
It should have been like, don't dust this. One day it'll be good.
That would be funny.
Like, I want to buff Ziliax, Scion of Ruin, and Salcy Deckhand. That would be awesome.
But
that's not going to happen. Like, if I'm doing that, then the only mech that I'm running is Ziliax, and the only dragon I'm running is probably Scion of Ruin. Maybe Tent Trasher. All right, maybe Tent Trasher. But like, how often am I going to have like 3 of the ones of different tribes in my hand? Probably not very.
yeah.
Like, I'm gonna go 1 on this one, and like I feel like it should be 2, but it's just hand buff, and it's so slow, and it's only a 1/3 weapon. Like if it was like, you know, a 3/2 or even a 2/3, I'd feel a little bit better. But like, yeah, and it's
Hey, real
1.
quick.
Yeah.
The reason I gave it a 2, not a 1, is because not myself, but I've seen other people at way, way higher ranks than me play Highlander Warrior, and as silly, that's the word I'll use, as silly as I thought it was, I kept seeing it over and over, and then actually one time I ran into it, and I was actually surprised by like how well they can like keep the board, keep minions, keep their life up, and like it actually seems like a decent deck. So I feel like if they can find ways to have these 3 tribes within Highlander Warrior, there might be something there, but I don't want to take too much time, just maybe.
Yeah, I think that this really, to be good, it should be like a 2 mana 2/3 or a 2 mana 3/3 or something.
Yeah.
Like a 1/3 is such minimal impact. Like, or make it cost 1 mana or something. But like on turn 2, I don't know. Like I mean, Hydra said it's good with Alex's champion, right? But like, I don't know. All right, let's
Even
move.
then, Alex's champion herself doesn't have a tribe, so like she gets charge, but not the buff.
Oh God, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, no, that's the only thing I'm saying is you would run, if you're going to play this, I feel like you would run Alex Strauss as champion just because
Right.
you're running dragons.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're probably running Galakron too, so that would be a high roll to get that plus charge.
I think
I'm
that
with you.
we're spending entirely too much time on a crappy card. Let's just move on.
Next.
All right, this next one I like. The Tent Trasher. It's a 5 mana 5/5 epic dragon with rush. Costs 1 less for each friendly minion with a unique minion type.
Hey Nate,
yo,
there it is. That's the one. That's the minion that's attacking the guy with the shield.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
It is.
Holy crap! It's the purple fire.
I think you're right. Pog Trasher. Yeah, I kind of like this. Now, even if it's a 5/5 for 5 with rush, that's not that bad. If you've got one pirate in hand, it now becomes a 4 cost 5/5 with rush. If you've got a Ziliax or
be on board.
On board, not in hand.
Yeah.
on board. Okay. Well, still,
Either way,
Still. Yeah.
that does make me sad. But I think that the card overall is pretty good. I don't think that it's busted by any means. I don't think that it's. The question is it meta defining? Or is it played in meta decks? It'll definitely be played in standard meta decks, but in wild, I'll give it a 3 for playable. Because I think that the deck, it has to be this new meta deck, right? This doesn't slot into Odd Warrior, right? It doesn't slot into Pirate Warrior or any other sort of existing warrior card. You could put it in Galakron Warrior. You could put it in that. I don't know. I'm not quite sure. I think it requires some testing. The rush is good. If it didn't have rush, I would be very skeptical. I'm going to give it a 3 for playable. I don't think that... I don't know. I don't think it's busted. I like it, though. 5/5 with rush is good. For 5 mana, for 4 mana, I don't know, something like that. I think it's pretty good. I'll give it a 3-star. Mike, what do you think?
Hydralisk, do you mind going while I research something real quick?
Yeah, no problem. For me, this is it's a solid card. I feel like even if you're dropping it onto a board where you don't have anything on your side because they just cleared it, I think you're still okay. It's not horrible by any means. But I think a lot of the time you may have a pirate and just another regular minion or a dragon on board, something where this is not always going to cost 5. I think a lot of the time you're going to be paying 4 or 3 for this, and a 3 or 4 mana 5/5 with rush. Pretty solid. So, as we were saying, I don't know where it fits other than Galakron. But if that's going to be a meta deck, I feel like
Menagerie Warrior.
I feel like we throw it into Galakron Warrior, see how it goes. It's by no means broken or anything, but it's definitely a 3 mana or 3 star card.
Yeah, that feels like a pretty solid 3. Okay, Sheep, what do you think? And then we can go back to Mike.
Yeah, I'm kind of torn because the dragon tribe is actually worthwhile in any sort of N'Zoth shenanigans. Galakron, solid, but is it better than the 5/8 dude? I'm not sure. Are we running both? Maybe, but then what are we cutting? I think it's a good card. It's absolutely a good card. And I think that having another dragon helps for Alex Strauss's champion.
Yay. I agree, because there's not enough for Alex Strauss's champion. I find it's just sitting there dead so much.
Right? We were already running it with just the Scions of Ruin.
Yeah, and that's not enough.
It was not enough.
No.
So I think that you run Tent Trasher. And I think that that's honestly... I think the Galakron Warrior will be a meta deck. And if it's run in a meta deck, that makes it a 4-star card for us. So even though I'm kind of tentative about giving it 4 stars, I think I have to. I think it's a 4-star card.
I think that's okay. I could see it being I think that the Galakron Warrior, it runs the wrench caliber, right, with the bombs.
Yeah.
So, and I think that that's good for disrupting all the Reno decks that are out there right now. So I don't know. I mean, I could definitely see this being played in meta decks. Besides, the artwork is really awesome. So, um, I could see it being a 4. Actually, I could see that. Mike, what do you think?
Yeah, so I think this is the second epic card we've run into. Like I mentioned earlier with the occult how do you pronounce it? Occult Conjure. Like this card's ready on day one. I think it goes right into Galakron
Yeah.
because the tribe's already there. So this potentially could get played on turn 3. And like Nate said, if it didn't have rush, it probably wouldn't be as good. But the fact that it does, this is an epic they made to be good on purpose, because they say sometimes, to balance the game out, they'll make epics that are crap on purpose. But this one is very, very good on purpose. So I give it a 4.
Cool. I like that. I think that's fair. The card does seem good to me. Okay. Next up is we get into the legendary. So this is ETC God of Metal. 2 mana, 1/4. After a friendly rush minion attacks, deal 2 damage to the enemy hero. This is really interesting for me. I like the concept quite a bit. I think this is good, but I'm not really sure where to slot it or what deck to play it in. Decent stats. Okay to play on tempo. I'm not really sure what this goes in. I think I'll give it a 3 as like playable. I really have no clue where to put it. I like that. Yeah, it's this elite Tauren chieftain, God of Metal. Like it looks, he's banging on drums in the picture. I think you just can't see the drum at the bottom of the picture. But this is interesting to me. I like the idea of playing it on tempo. You know what? I'm sorry. I'm going to bring it back to a 2. After a friendly rush minion attacks. So this is only on rush minions. I think a 2. It's very fringe, and even then, it's probably a 1. I like the idea of I like the idea of the card, but I don't think that it's very playable. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, I think it's fringe too. I'll give it a 2. The best, like the biggest, coolest combo I could think of would be like if we get a way to get a bunch of minions out on the board, pirates, such things like that, and then you drop a broomstick.
You play it.
I put it. Sorry, good.
I was gonna say you play it in Demon Hunter with all those 1/1 Illidari with Rush. There you go.
Wait, Demon Hunter.
No, I'm joking. Like this just doesn't. There's like no synergy here. You have to play with rush minions. Granted, with Broom, is there combo potential with Broom?
There is. It's janky though.
Yeah, that's a pass. Then I'm not. I mean, like that's not meta at all.
No.
Yeah, I give it a 2.
Let's talk about the artwork.
I'm gonna go down as saying with a card that says ETC Elite Tauren Chieftain God of Metal, I would expect way better stats for something that sounds so awesome. But it's just a little 1/4. That aside, I don't think this is a good card. I don't think it's even fringe. I don't know if anybody's playing this. You can't. You could try to tempo it, but they're just going to try to kill it, so you can't do your rush minions. I don't see anywhere where I'm playing this currently, so I'm going to give this a 1.
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see Clark or somebody do some goofy video on what the weird OTK combo is with this, but like I don't really see it. What is it, Sheep? You need like 2 Emperor ticks and a whole bunch of other. It's probably awful.
Yeah, I was looking for it because Dr. Baum and I were talking about it the other day, but I can't find it. It was so like you use double Bloodsworn Mercenary. I can't recall what the first thing you use is. It's something plus Pinflinger plus double Bloodsworn plus ETC. Oh no, it's ETC itself plus Pinflinger onto ETC, double Bloodsworn Mercenary to copy ETC, and then Broom, so that all of them have rush. And it's something like 24, 28 damage, depending on whether the ETCs have to die whenever they attack. And it's a lot of cards for like not a great combo. That said, it's going to be amazing to watch. Gonna be really cool. ETC always has an amazing like battle cry, and the art is fantastic. And if I'm talking about the art, it's probably a 1-star card. And unfortunately, this is a 1-star card.
Hey, real quick, a card like this, I like to shout out Blizzard because they made it very clear where they stand on things. Like when they make a certain card in Paladin 4 mana, not 5 mana, to give Silver Hands attack and Divine Shield. When they make this game in a way where it's not supposed to be esports top level, cards like this will help people who are content creators to do like, YouTube highlight videos. So I even though this isn't like top level competitive, I still like the effect. It's cool. It's unique.
Yeah. Absolutely agreed.
Oh, it's definitely fun. I think it's fun, and the flavor's cool. The art's cool. I'm sure that the entrance, like it'll probably have pyrotechnics and guitar and some kind of crazy, whatever. But like, this is just a crappy card. Let's move on. All right, Ringmaster Watley. This is the last Warrior Legend card. This is a 5 mana. 3/5 Battlecry. Draw a mech, dragon, and pirate. This is like Curator 2.0, and I think the thing that people have been talking about that's interesting is this actually draws the Curator, depending on if you put that in your deck. Like if this slots into like this creates a new archetype for this Menagerie Warrior, which I assume is intended for standard, but in wild, like you could play Curator in it. Like there's some potential here, and again, like. This makes me look at what does Ben from Work's deck look like? What does Labore's deck look like? I want to try it. I like the idea of tutoring my cards. I like the idea of thinning my deck. But like, how is this better than any existing archetype? Like, isn't Galakrond Warrior just better than this? Like, I don't know. I mean, this looks fun, and it's hard to say without trying it out. So I don't know.
I think you run this in Galakrond Warrior personally.
You could. I mean, you could because you'll be playing definitely that new Tent Trasher Dragon. You play Pirates. Does it play Mech? Yeah, it probably plays Ziliax or something. So like, this seems like a pretty good tutor. God, I cannot wait to see it in gold. It probably looks amazing.
Oh, I bet it does.
So I gave it a 4. Actually, I think that this is pretty strong. Like, this is. You remember when? God, I can't remember the name of it. It's it's a similar card. It's the Princess whatever. It's like a 7 mana cost card that's a neutral that draws a dragon and a beast or whatever else from your deck. Do you remember what I'm talking about? I'll have to look it up. I'm just gonna open up my collection. You guys talk. I gave it a 4 though.
Cool.
What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, I give this card a 4 too, based on what our ratings are. This slots directly. This is like another, once again, another card straight out of high school, ready for the pros. 4.
I basically got nothing else to add to that because it's all been said. It's a 5 mana 3/5, draw 3 cards. Maybe sometimes you only draw 2. Maybe sometimes you only draw 1, but it's still drawing what you need. And it's just solid card. Can just slot right into Galakrond. So 4.
I wish this had either 2 more attack or taunt, but I'm still going to run it in my deck. I mean, it's absolutely a 4-star card. I just wish it had a slightly better body attached, but the effect is so powerful, like, and synergizes with what you're trying to do so well. You're going to run it in that deck. It's an easy 4-star card.
Yeah, I agree. Sorry, hold on. Where's this? I'm trying to do this on my phone and it's taking forever.
Oh no.
Warlock, Warrior. All right, neutral. Where's my neutral legends at here? And it costs like 6 or 7.
Oh, Countess. Count
Ashmore.
Ashes.
Yeah.
There we go.
What does that say? Countess Ashmore, 7 mana, 6/6 battle cry. Draw a rush, lifesteal, and death rattle card from your deck. Okay, never mind. Well, this is much better than that. So, okay. Well, I like this size. This is a solid 4, I think, for me. So, okay. Well, we're moving on now to the neutral cards, and then we're done.
Right
My
on.
goodness, like we might actually finish this before midnight tonight.
Final push.
This is the final push. Okay. Neutral cards. Here we go. There are 30 of them. So let's get started. First up is the Costumed Entertainer. This is a 2 mana 1/2 battle cry. Give a random minion in your hand +2/+2. More hand buff. Yeah, I joke here. Like, do we have enough for an actual deck now? Probably not. Give us a 1.
What do you figure, Mike?
Is this a Murloc?
Nope. It's just
No, it's somebody inside a Murloc costume.
Because they're a costumed entertainer.
Cool art. It's a 1.
Yeah, I'm not playing this. Sorry. Looks cool. Like it's cute. We're gonna go with 1.
Yeah, this is pack filler, and pack filler is needed sometimes. It's a 1. It's fine.
All right, cool. That's quick. All right, let's move on. Next up is Parade Leader. This is a 2 mana 2/3. After you summon a rush minion, give it +2 attack. I think that in general, wild decks are so much more refined than the standard ones. I tend to think that this is kind of pack filler as well. The effect is not necessarily bad, but like you have to have this on board and then play a rush. It just doesn't seem good enough for anything that we're playing right now. This is a 1 from me.
Yeah, this is the 1 for me. This just seems silly. I have nothing else to say. It's just a 1.
Yeah, I feel like if you play this on curve, people can see, they can read the text, they know that they need to kill it, right?
Yeah.
So they're definitely going to kill it. So we could maybe just run something that actually has synergy with their deck. So this is a 1.
I will say it is going to be interesting to watch people hover over this every time it's played, which is not very often.
Yeah, what does this do again?
Yeah. Maybe eventually Rush Warrior will be a thing. That's not in Wild, and that's not now. It's a 1.
I find myself sometimes people play cards and I look at that. I have to hover over the card because I'm like, that's not a real card. I've never seen that played ever. What is that? Is that new? And that's what's going to happen when somebody plays this.
Pro strat, if you don't want them to see you hovering over the card, go to the left.
Yeah, I do this all the time.
Yeah, I do it on the left because then they don't see me hovering over it and they don't know that I'm like, that I haven't been paying attention to the game when they played the card.
Yeah, I never hover the card. Always hover it on the side.
Yep.
That's funny. All right, next up is Prize Vendor. This is a 2 mana 2/3 Murloc with a battle cry. Both players draw a card. I think this is essentially a worse Cold Light Oracle. My notes say like, oh, Millrogue support. I put this as a 2. It probably does not deserve that. It's probably a 1, but I put a 2. Like fringe play, yeah, maybe. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep judging with an iron fist, especially if we're gonna get 35 new cards in like a month and a half or 2 months, right? They sit in between sets.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna give this a 1. Garbage.
They're really cool artwork, though.
Yeah,
It is.
Yeah, he's got all the tickets, the Chuck E. Cheese tickets. I see it.
He's eating them. Nom, 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 nom.
I feel like if I first started playing this game and I was like, I'm going to play a bunch of Murlocs, I'm going to draw, and I'm going to keep playing them, I would think it's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, that's not the world we live in Wild right now. So it's kind of unplayable. Sorry, little guy. 1.
Yeah, like Chicken in chat is mentioning, you'd rather bounce Cold Light or shuffle more Cold Lights in your deck. Maybe some archetypes that don't currently have mill, or some classes that don't currently have mill archetypes would run it, but they won't. It's a 1-star card. The flavor text, however, so it's a Murloc eating on these tickets. So the flavor text reads, he's just making sure they're real. Authentic tickets taste like strawberry.
That's great. All right. Next up is Rock Rager. This is a one. This is a one clearly. I just put obligatory Rager card.
Yep.
I'm not saying anything. It's a 1.
Yeah, pack filler 1.
Yep. Just like the health on all the Ragers. It's a 1.
Yep. Easy
Like it
peasy.
even has taunt. Like kill me with my 1 health.
Hey, loser.
Oh, you got me. That's what he'll say.
Oh, wait. This has one we can place in one deck.
Where?
Quest Druid.
Oh, there you go. Actually,
Five attack.
2 mana 5 attack. Maybe it isn't Quest Druid. All right.
It's not a bad idea.
Still gets a 1. All right.
Yeah, still garbage.
The flavor text still doesn't understand why he can't beat Paper Roger. Paper Rager. Wow.
Funny. All right. Next up is the Showstopper. This is a 2 mana 3/2 with Death Rattle. Silence all minions. I could see this being cool if it had Rush or something. Like you could run it. This might not be bad against like Q block or something like that. Or like this with Broom could really ruin somebody's day. Then again, I doubt anyone will actually play it. Like I gave it a 2. I think it's probably unplayable. But like this could ruin somebody's day pretty good. What do you think, Mike?
This card, this seems pretty cool.
It needs
So
like you need to trigger the Death Rattle right away. Like if you like someone in chat mentioned like you could run it with Dark Glare or something like that if taunt turns into a problem. But like you got to run it. You need Broom or something with it to attack right away.
Yeah. I guess the one scenario I'm thinking of is I can play this against Aggro Druid, but I would need the Broomstick. So since it needs another card to make it better, I'll give it a 2.
Yeah, it sucks because it sounds so good when you first read it, but then you really think about it, and it's always a 2 card combo, right? Because there's no rush, so you either need Broom or you need to be able to shield slam it or just hit it with something. Meanwhile, you put this on the board. If you don't have any way to actually kill it, they're just gonna keep hitting you, right? they're not gonna kill it. They're just gonna keep going face. So
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I would like to rate it higher, but it's not a 3. It's either a 1 or a 2. I'm gonna go with it's kind of a 1 because it's a Death Rattle.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you. Like if this was a battle cry, this would be like a 4 or a 5.
Yeah,
but it's not.
It would be awesome, yeah.
Yeah, right. The art is nice. So yeah, this is a 1 for me as well. So close to a 5 though.
One word off. One word off.
One word off. That is the one that is closest to a 5 of all 1 rated cards.
It might be nice if it said silence all enemy minions, right? Yeah.
I mean, even then.
Yeah, I don't know. This just doesn't seem good. All right, let's just move on. All right. Next up is Wriggling Horror. This is a 2 mana 2/1 battlecry. Give adjacent minions +1/+1. I mean, what do you like? You play this in some kind of zoo deck or something? Like, I don't know. I remember back in the day when we were running. What was it? An Odd Rogue, the thing that gave stuff.
Yeah, the 5 mana one.
Plus, what did you give it? +2/+2.
Yeah.
This just doesn't seem that good though. I just put meh.
Fungalmancer? Is that what we're talking about?
Yes,
Fungalmancer.
Yeah, but this is like, what do you play this in? That's the problem. Like nothing.
Arena.
Aggro Druid.
Yeah,
Play this in Arena.
You could. I know. I mean, I don't think you could potentially play it in Aggro Druid for 2. Like on turn 1, you play Embiggen Pirate.
And put these between put this between the pirates.
Potentially. I mean, I still don't think that it's. I could see this potentially in Aggro Druid. you know, if it was a 2/2, it would be pretty good. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna say a 2 as like fringe, and I think that's probably
That's generous.
being generous. Yeah, it's probably more of like a 1, but Funkelmancer's annoying cousin. Yeah, pretty much. The
annoying
artwork,
cousin.
the artwork is pretty rad. Mike, what do you think?
Definitely a 2. Because outside of that one idea, it's just
Well, it doesn't go in anything else, right?
nothing.
You put it in cube lock. There you go.
This is totally just a solid. If I was like starting to play this game and I'm playing some zoo, I would jam this in like right away. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's a good card. You get plenty of stats, and it's not like an aura. It's Battlecry give the minion. So if they kill this, it's not like the dire wolf or whatever it is where it goes away when it dies, right? So
Yeah, that's true.
it's a persistent effect, so I like it. Though I'm not going to be playing it probably in any of the decks I'm playing. It's an even cost card. It's not going in any odd decks, so it's not in your odd rogue or nothing like that. So it's a 2. It'll see some fringe play in some zoo aggro-y style decks. I don't think it's going to be meta. 2.
Yeah.
This is- Sorry, I was
Sorry.
going to say this is good. Like when my kid plays, and this is a, it's a common. You're going to get this real easy, and if you want to play it in like a budget zoo style deck, like,
Yeah, for sure.
But
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that I like Direwolf Alpha. Direwolf Alpha is a really, really good card. So whenever I said earlier, that this is a really good arena card, that's not an indictment of arena. Arena is where stats on the board matter a little bit more, right? I don't think that they matter as much as other synergies matter in constructed and specifically wild. Yeah, Fungal Manslayer Flurgle used to be run back in the day, but even at this point, we don't run it in Odd Rogue or really anything at this point. Wriggling Horror costs less, but it also gives less buff. I think it's a really interesting card. I also think it's a 1 for wild constructed play. I don't think we're going to see it, but I don't think it's a bad card. I think it's just not something that we're really going to see run, unfortunately.
yeah. All right. Let's move on then. Next up is Banana Vendor. So this is a 3 mana 2/4 Battlecry. Add 2 bananas to each player's hand. This is Banana Buffoon 2.0. My note here says that MTG Squirrel can play it in Banana Walk. And
Yes.
and so this is, you possibly force your opponent to overdraw. Like if I'm playing against some, but like do you ever see this running in anything? Like I remember for a little while people were running Banana Buffoon in Reno Quest Mage because the bananas will proc your quest. But like I gave this I gave it a 2 because I could see it possibly having fringe play, but that's probably being generous. Like I don't know why you would ever want to run this unless you're just screwing with your opponent or you're memeing around. Like it doesn't feel competitive to me. I understand the overdraw potential. I understand the quest mage potential here, but like there's already Banana Buffoon that nobody uses. So we'll put it in Shutterwalk Shaman, and MTG Squirrel can play it, and then we can move on. It's probably a 1. I gave it a 2 because our scoring guidelines say that 2 is fringe play, and that's probably what this is. But what do y'all think, Mike? What do you think?
Yeah, I gave it a 2. My idea was put in some banana shaman, try to walk some kind of meme over there. I don't know, because like you said, he was a Banana Buffoon. He went from the Buffoon to the Vendor. What's the difference? Like
It's the same card. Like yeah.
Got a job.
Yeah.
Got a job.
Yeah. Vendor now.
All right. Hydra, what do you think?
Yeah.
I gave it a 1. I don't think there's. I mean, you want to give yourself bananas if you're procking quest. Maybe you're gonna mill somebody. What are the odds that that's gonna happen? I feel like it's a bit of a reach, so it's gonna be a 1.
Yeah, they don't specify like even in the main site what the bananas are. We're assuming they give +1/+1 because that's what bananas always have done. But just
Yeah, I assume that too.
minor gripe that is definitely picking nits.
If they
it's gonna give a +1/+1.
if they gave +5/+5, that'd be different, right?
Right. Yeah, it'd be a very different card. Or if it's
Kind
like
of
King
bananas
Mukla
are
and
these? Holy
Battlegrounds,
crap.
where every once in a while one
+5.
of them will be +2/+2.
We change this to Banana Master. There we go.
There you go. The flavor text is there's always money in the banana stand.
Okay.
It's a Arrested Development homage.
Oh, here's a
This is
guy-
a one for me as well.
They should have gave him corrupted.
They should have.
Corrupted, your bananas are better.
A better banana. All right.
Rotten bananas.
Corrupted, you get banana bread.
Oh, there you go.
All right. Next up is Darkmoon Dirigible. This is a 3-mana 3/2 mech with Divine Shield, Corrupt, Gain, Rush. Again, I think this is kind of a budget card. I think that I like the art and the effect is okay, but it's too slow for wild. I gave it a 1.
Yeah, too slow for wild. Divine Shield. It's too slow for wild. I give it a 1.
If it had Rush without the Corrupt, it'd be good. Like a 3-mana Divine Shield 3/2 Rush seems good to me. But that you have to corrupt it before, this seems like that is not good.
Yeah, this is a full-on 1 for me.
Yeah.
Nothing else to be said, really. It's just a little vanilla. Like it's kind of funny to nowadays say that when like we had stuff like total vanilla like cards like this that had no text on them. But yeah, sorry, not good enough for wild.
Yeah, Shielded Minibot isn't even running Mech Paladin anymore. Typically, like as a staple. So yeah, this is the one.
Yeah. All right. Okay. The next card up is the Darkmoon Statue. This is a 3-mana 0/5. Your other minions have +1 attack. Corrupt. This gains +4 attack. This is a 1 for me. I don't play it ever anywhere. This is a lore card for sure, though. There's story behind this card in the WoW game. So we'll talk about it next week. But the card itself is not good. Mike?
Yeah, the card's not good. I'm giving it a 1 as well. When I first saw it, I thought it'd be cool, and then I was just like, nah, because like 4 or 5 for 3, you got to play something higher. It doesn't have a tribe. There's no reason to play it. I give it a 1.
Yeah, I think it's worth noting that it's like the aura effect. Your other minions have +1 attack. It's not a battle cry; they gain it. So they're just gonna kill this thing, especially if it's a 0/5. It just soaks up some damage, and that's about it. So 1.
Okay. So hear me out.
Uh-oh.
Deck of
The art is
Chaos.
great.
If you give it a 5, I'm gonna laugh. So
5 that can become a 0-mana 7/5 with your other minions have +1 attack. It's still not good. It's still a 1, but I mean, it's fun thought experiment.
the corrupted artwork is really cool. Actually.
It really is. It looks really, really spoopy.
You can pull it out with Meat Wagon. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Next up is the Gyre Worm. This is a 3-mana 3/2 elemental, a battle cry. If you played an elemental last turn, deal 3 damage. My notes here says, it's for that elemental mage deck, LOL. I gave it a 2, and I feel like that's being a little bit generous. A lot of these vanilla cards just don't see play. Chicken Drumsticks is 1% play, but no more than that. It's probably accurate. This is something like if I discovered an elemental, I would not necessarily like immediately say no to this one. but like to trigger it, like you have to have played an elemental the last turn, and there's better elementals that don't have this prerequisite of having to play one the prior turn. So I think that this is probably just bad. Elemental decks in general are bad. If you were listening to the show about 5 hours ago, we were talking about this this elemental mage, the possibility of this like tier 4 elemental mage deck that this could possibly go in. This is probably a 1. I'll give it a 2 because I think that there is some very, very remote fringe possibility. Like I don't think the card is bad. It's mostly bad, but it's not 100% bad. What do you think, Mike?
You use a lot of words I want to use. Bad, mostly bad.
Bad.
Bad worm. So with that said, if you play an elemental, deal 3. So something shaman, something battle cry, deal double. Would you give it a 2? I'll give it a 2.
It could go face at least. It could go in shaman. You know, it could go in some kind of, I don't know. All right, what do you think, Hydra?
Well, as Schmoopy points out in chat, it's Medivh's Valet, but it costs 1 more. And you have to play an elemental last turn instead of your secret. I don't know. I don't know what deck it's going in.
If it was a 2 mana 2/3, then it'd be okay.
Yeah, if it was 2 mana, you just could play it after Firefly or something, right? Because you just played an elemental last turn.
Sure.
On 1. But I don't know. We don't have this deck right now. So it's a 1 for me.
Yeah, I'm really excited about Elemental Mage. I feel like Gyre Worm probably doesn't make the cut in that one. I could be wrong, but yeah, I think this is probably a 1 for me as well, unfortunately.
Yeah. All right. Moving right along. Inconspicuous Rider. This is a 3 mana 2/2. Battlecry, cast a secret from your deck. This is an interesting one for me. I think that this is not immediately bad. I think that this has potential in like that, not Secret Mage itself. Maybe in like the Reno, like a Reno Secret Mage, maybe in a Secret Hunter. I think the value is actually pretty good because potentially it's like, depending on the cost of the secret, it's 5 to 6 mana worth of value for 3 on a 2/2 body. So I think it's playable in the right deck. I give it a 3.
I give this card a 1. I don't think it's that good. I just think there's so much better stuff and more powerful stuff going on in Wild while this card is being played. So I give it a 1.
If you let me ask you a question. If you compare this to my brain is fried because we've been at this for 9.5 hours. No. Compare it to the to Kirin Tor Mage, right? Which is at the 3 mana 4/3 that you have to play. You play a secret for 0. But you have to have the secret in your hand in order to play it. So it's a 3 mana 2/2, so the stats are lower, but you don't have to have the secret. Like it just pulls one. It's still random though. So I don't know. Anyways, sorry, Hydra, what were you saying?
No, my problem is the random part. Like you can't. Like you may have a whole bunch of secrets in your deck, and it's just going to pull one that is going to be the worst one that like you don't need, or maybe it'll be the best one. It's that random thing, right?
Yeah.
So, because normally when you're playing secrets, you're timing them right. You're trying to trick your opponent. You're not just dropping like explosive runes when like there's no point in dropping. You're waiting for a certain turn to do it. It's a little too random for me. Though you do have a point with the value. You don't have to have drawn a secret necessarily to play it. So I'm gonna go as a 2 because I don't know if it's quite a 3. It's gonna be a 2 for me.
So whenever I said mad scientist, it's because that's what I thought about whenever I was looking at this. And if Inconspicuous Rider was 2 mana, I think you might straight up take Mad Scientist out and slot Inconspicuous Rider in.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
But it's 3 mana instead.
yeah.
And you really want to be putting more stats on the board. Yeah, it's a battle cry, so you automatically get it, but I just think it's really tough because it's like almost there. But I think it's not quite there. I don't think it's a 1 because I think it's playable.
Mhm.
I don't think that it's going to be played in the meta decks. So I'm going to go with a 2 because, it's got possibilities, but it's just not quite there.
Yeah, I'm curious to test this one a little bit. It probably is not good enough.
Oh, Chicken makes a good point. You could take out the Arcane Mastery, the 2 mana draw a secret and it now costs 0.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Except this. Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
Well, I think
that
that's-
one gives you, possibility to play with Arcane Flak Mage and time
Yeah.
stuff with, like Cloud Prince and stuff like that. But yeah, this isn't there.
Isn't that
unfortunately.
interesting? I agree with that assessment, Ben. It's this perfect example of how big a difference 1 mana makes.
Hard agree.
Oh, great point.
Yeah.
Hard agree.
All right. Let's keep moving along. Next up is Circus Amalgam. This is a 4 mana 4/5 taunt with all minion types. I think this is pretty good actually, because it can slot just about. I mean, any deck that requires tribal synergy. So we're talking mechs, we're talking pirates, dragons, whatever it is. Maybe this new menagerie thing, if it's any good. So I don't know. I think that, and I like the stat line, and I like that it has taunt. Like that's what I didn't like about the old Amalgam. What is it? A 3 mana 3/4? Is that right?
Yes.
I mean, nobody ever played it, right?
In Shaman.
Did they? I don't know. I don't think I've ever played it.
I don't remember it in Shaman, but I don't doubt it either.
So
Oh, it wasn't like super popular. I'm sorry.
No worries.
I think I would give this a 3. I think that it's playable. I'm not quite sure where it goes. That's my big problem with it. It feels like good value for mana, right? A 4 mana 4/5 taunt. Like you put it in even Warlock. Ben's saying I think that's fine. Could you put it in this sort of menagerie thing? Yeah, I guess, but it's probably meant for standard. I'm not really sure what else it goes in. So I don't know. Menagerie control deck. Yeah, I don't know. I think, it feels like a solid 3 to me because the card itself is good. I just don't know where to put it. So I don't know. Mike, what do you think?
First when I saw this card actually was like last night. Caught me off guard. Looks pretty cool. I'll give it a 3 because it's a Yeti with taunt. So can't be too bad. Like Nate said, it has applications where tribes are needed. So yeah, I'll give it a 3. It's pretty solid.
I'm also going to give it a 3 because straight up its stats are just fine. It's the 4 mana 4/5 taunt. You can be like in a mid-range style. It fills the gap of any deck that is looking for a certain minion type just to proc whatever you need to proc. Like if you need a dragon, it's there. If you need an elemental to trigger something, it's there. If you need a pirate, it's there. Like it fills that gap, so it's extremely versatile. Its stats are good. It has taunt, so it's definitely a playable card. 3.
Well, the art is amazing.
Yeah, it looks like a dinosaur with a pirate hat.
Yeah, it's like at the dragon head and the mech shoulder and it's got so much going on and I love it. The flavor text reads, "Who needs a petting zoo when you have all the creatures right here?" Just really fun. I don't know what this is going into. I really don't. Like a 4 mana 4/5 taunt, which is any and all of the tribes, I'm sure will find a home. I don't know if I can quite give it a 3 though. I think it's got to be a 2 for me, because I'm sure it'll see some fringe play, but I don't think that we're really going to see it anywhere.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's keep moving along. Next up is the Circus Medic. This is a 4-mana 3/4. Battlecry, restore 4 health. Corrupt to deal 4 damage instead. There's a lot going on. Although, personally, I think that this is just kind of pack filler. It's a little versatile, but I don't know. It's a standard card. I could just give this one a 1. I like the art.
So I know the 2 shaman decks right now are big shaman and even shaman. I'm not saying that this card is made for even shaman. So the idea I have is obviously a more fringe deck. Are you guys familiar with Reno, Shutterwalk, Charge, all that crazy battle cry activator stuff?
Yeah.
So if you get this right, get your hero power, get to go twice. What did I see earlier? I wanted to give props to the person I saw. I think I saw this on Twitter, where basically, you get this discounted, get the Shadow Walk down, and like you get this corrupted. This will add damage that you're dealing to them, but then your Reno will also heal you, so you're not gonna die. Because there's another card with the battle cry thing coming up in a neutral where it deals damage to both people.
Mm-hmm.
So I just saw that idea on
It's interesting
on Twitter. Yeah, it's fringe, so I'll give it a 2.
Yeah, that being said, it seems really, really fringe. So, for me, I have to draw the line between fringe and not being played. Maybe I'm gonna be super wrong. People are gonna do that, but I'm gonna go with the 1.
Yeah, I think the good kind of barrier is like 1%, and I don't think this meets that barrier. So I'm giving it a 1 as well. I think that'll be a really interesting deck, and I can't wait to watch Mike stream it. But I think it's a 1 not cost, but 1 star card.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Next up is the Fantastic Firebird. This is a 4-mana 3/5 elemental with Wind Fury. It's a Wind Fury elemental. I feel like it's fringe, but it's not horrible. I give it a 2. I mean, I don't know. Like, maybe this slots into that funky like elemental mage sort of thing. But I don't know. I think two is I'm not willing to give it more than that. Wind Fury has potential. Wind Fury with healing is even better. But I don't know. It's got a big butt, so the Wind Fury, like, this could do pretty good on 4. It's okay. I give it a 2. Mike, what do you think?
Yeah, so I feel like most people who were like intermediate initially would like rate this a 1, but I think you got to take a second and think about like long game, because on the surface you don't see the second ability, but like Nate just said, once you use the Death Knight, now this minion has Wind Fury and Lifesteal. So even though that's not like meta, I think it's a decent card, so I'll give it a 2. I think there might be something there with that deck. Because what do you got to do? Just like do old school mage, freeze, stall him until you can get to the Death Knight, and then now all your elementals have lifesteal. Like, there might be something there. What do you guys think? What do you think?
Yeah. There's no way I can give it a 1. It's got Wind Fury. It's a 3/5 for 4. I mean, it's a good card. I don't know if we're going to be seeing this being played at all, but which is why I can't justify giving it like a 3 or a 4. So I'm going to have to give it a 2 personally. But if we see that Elemental Mage with Jaina, then it's definitely going to be decent in there, but I don't know if we're going to see that. So I'm going to call it Fringe too.
Yeah, I don't know that this makes the cut in that elemental Jaina mage. If it had Rush Wind Fury, even if it was a 2/5 for 4, then like maybe. But with no Rush and no like shooty McBang bang effect, like yeah, even if it is able to heal, you're not really going to be able to get it to heal likely. So I think this is probably a 1. And I'm really excited for that deck. This does have the Elemental Tribe on it, so maybe it'll see some Fringe play in that. But I kind of doubt it. So I'm going with a 1.
That's fine. I think that you're probably right. Okay, let's just keep moving on. Next one up is Knife Vendor. This is a 4 mana 3/4 battlecry. Deal 4 damage to each hero. Yeah, okay.
This is the one Mike was talking about.
Yeah. Fringe.
Mean. I said maybe there's a deck this goes in, like, would you like, but I don't really think so. This is just a 1 for me. Like, what do you put it in Dark Lair? No. Okay. All right. No, I don't think so. I don't think no, this is just a 1. I don't see ever playing this.
Yeah, I'm giving this a 2. The only deck this goes in for me is the Shadow Walk one, where I can make sure I'm still healing while I'm dealing damage to them.
So what? This is the opposite of Life Drinker,
basically.
I don't really like it. I mean, if somebody needs it for some reach, maybe sort of Fringe. I'll call it a 2 instead of a 1 because there's a possibility it could be used for like a little bit of reach. But I mean, you probably just run something else. So
yeah, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll go with a 2.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the 1, with the caveat that the flavor text is hilarious. It's Knife Vendor, from their point of view, saying they're perfectly safe. These gloves totally aren't hiding any bandages.
I mean, also even lock, you're injuring yourself, so you can get to those molten giants and whatnot, right? I don't know. Am I reaching?
Yep.
All right.
Even lock.
All right. Next up, this is called Fleet Hoof Pearl Tusk. This is a 5 mana 4/4 beast with Rush, Corrupt, Gain +4/+4. Look, that's cute, but I just don't see a world in that's good. It's just too slow for Wild. I think I just give it a 1.
1. That's a layup.
1 and done.
Well, a layup is 2, and this is a 1-star card. 1.
Yeah. Okay. Then let's move on. Next up is Optimistic Ogre. This is a 5 mana 6/7. It says 50% chance to attack the correct enemy. I do think that this is interesting because the wording on this, like if you look at Mogre the Ogre and Mogre's Champion, they both say 50% chance to attack the wrong enemy. And this one says 50% chance to attack the correct enemy. I mean, it's basically the same thing, right? It's still 50. But like, why did they change the wording?
Because it's optimistic.
That's so funny. Okay, that's really funny. That's
brilliant.
That's actually
optimistic. Yeah,
that's actually
it's just a joke.
That's absolutely a joke card. It's brilliant. I love it.
It was too smart for me. That's great. That's great. All right, I'll give this a 5. It's OP. It's OP in the humor department. It's 1 for everything else.
What are you gonna give it, Mike?
Damn.
Are you ever gonna run this intentionally in a deck?
No.
All
right, then it's easy to score.
Yeah, it's a 1. It's a 1.
It's a 1. I laughed so hard when I first saw it. That was like the best part, and now I can move on. What do you think, Sheep?
I think that the flavor text reads, "What if this goes wrong? But what if this goes right?" It's brilliant. It's a 1-star card. I love it. Let's move on.
God, The big brain moment was completely lost on me. I can't. I'm so ashamed.
It makes it odd rogue.
There you go.
Perfect.
All right, next one
Oh
up
my
is
God.
the Claw Machine. This is a 6-mana 6/3 mech with Rush, Death Rattle. Draw a minion and give it +3/+3. I'm not quite sure here. This is interesting. I like the effect. I think the mana cost at 6 is too high. Maybe
Yeah.
we play this in Mech Pally with a reduction, but that's about it. I gave it a 2.
Yeah, I like it a lot. It has a lot of different cool like applications and ways you can combo it. The problem is that it costs 6.
Yep.
So one of the cool ways I was thinking of was Terran Gorfine. I thought it'd be pretty cool. But once again, this thing costs 6, so I'll give it a 2.
Yeah. Make it a 3-mana 3/3 Rush Death Rattle. Like, I don't know. Something
That
Yeah,
would be
like this
good.
thing with Terran Gorfine would be so much fun, but it costs so much.
Yeah.
This is a 3-mana 3/3.
I can't
I'd give it
see
a 3.
it's coming way too late, right? 6 mana. I don't see this happening at 6 mana. Draw 1, buffing it. I don't know. It seems like when you're playing a mech deck, you're trying to like magnetize and whack them. So I'm giving this a 1.
Yeah, I'm completely with you. This is a 1 for me as well. I love the flavor of it being a claw, and it reaches into your deck and it pulls something out, and you get a prize, and it's the fair. But this is a 1-star card.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna pull patches off that watch.
They'll feel really good about it, but they'll also feel really bad about it.
All right. Next up is Strongman. 7-mana 6/6 with Taunt. Corrupt. This costs 0. So here's the thing. You have to play at least an 8-mana spell to get this for 0. The way that Corrupt works, there's no way to cheat this guy out early. Like, this is a much worse Anubisath Defender, in my opinion. I give this a 1. I'm sure there's some big brain thing where you can play this, but like I don't see, because I was trying to figure, like, do you play this in a like a Carl Sunstrider deck? But the way that Corrupt works, like, that doesn't work. Like, if the spells, because it looks at the current cost of the spell, you're playing giant spells, but they cost 1 or 0, like, then the Corrupt doesn't trigger. So like, this just sits in your hand. And the Corrupt doesn't trigger until it's in your hand, right? So it's got to be in your hand, and then you've got to play a giant thing. Like, no, I don't. I just don't see it. I'd rather play Anubisath Defender, play a 5-mana spell, and play it for free than play this. So it's just it's too expensive. I just gave it a 1. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, no, I agree with you, man. Because like, if it could be corrupted when it wasn't in your hand, like, that'd be one thing. But the fact that it's got to be in your hand, it's pointless. I don't see why anybody would play this card. The only other kind of card I'd play, it's a 7-mana card. It's from the Rumble set, Rabble Bouncer. So like, it's 7-mana, 2/7 taunt. It costs 1 less for each enemy minion. Like, that card I would play over this one. So I'll give this like a 1.
Yeah, while a 0 mana 6/6 sounds great, you are not playing this till late game. So to me, this is not a card I'm ever going to play, and I don't think I'm going to see anybody play it. 1.
Yeah, a free 6/6 with taunt sounds awesome, but the conditions to get there, it's a 1.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Next up is Safety Inspector. This is we're now into the rares. So we're nearing the end, everybody. This is a 1-mana 1/3 with Battle Cry. Shuffle the lowest cost card from your hand into your deck. Draw a card. So, this is interesting. We saw this in the reveal stream. I think that this, if it was shuffle a copy, like that'd be awesome. But it's shuffle, like it's sending a card back. And honestly, like if I'm playing this early on, like I don't want to shuffle the low card because I want to play the low card.
Yeah.
And like it felt awkward when Crip was playing it. I mean, maybe there's a situation that it's good, but like I'm just not seeing it. I think that it's probably fringe playable. I don't really know. I'm tempted to give it a 1. I'm giving it a 2. And maybe there's something that I don't see here, but it's a 2 for me. What do you think, Mike?
I'll give it a 2 based on the fact that it has 4 lines of text. There's got to be something here. I just don't see it. I wish it did shuffle a copy back. Yeah, I give it a 2. I'm not sure.
Yeah, if you draw into this and you're kind of not happy with what's in your hand and you play it and you can toss something back and maybe get something better, that's kind of okay. But I feel like at this point, you're kind of already doing everything else wrong.
This is
I don't know.
This is
Maybe
so
you're already losing.
This is so that you can shuffle patches back into your deck.
Oh, there we go.
There, see? Yeah, see?
Get back in there,
it
Patches.
is.
I
There it is.
I mean, I don't want to build a deck with a card like this that is kind of like, if things aren't going right, I can play this card. No, I just want to stick to my game plan. So I don't want to run this. I'm going to give it a 1.
I mean, it's a 1 mana draw card on a stick, but like you have to send something back. And it's the lowest. Like if it said shuffle the highest cost card back into your deck and draw a card, I would like it more.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. Chat makes a good point where if your hand is empty, then, I mean, you're just drawing a card. So, I mean, there might be some fringe play with in Big and Druid. Yeah, you can keep patches in your hand to shuffle it back into your deck, which is, nice, but also hey, I'm top decking because you top deck pretty quick with that deck, and then you can actually get a draw, which is kind of nice. But I think that list is already way too tight to kind of jam this in there just for if things go wrong, then I have a way to make it go not quite as wrong. Because if you're shuffling a 1/1 into your deck after you've already played in Biggin, then you're not looking great. And if you haven't played in Biggin, then you're still not looking great. So I think this is a 1. I think it's really clever. I think that there are possibilities to make it not quite as bad and make it actually like make your situation not quite as bad. But like that deck is either winning or losing before you're going to get value from this card.
Yeah. All right. Next up is Kathir Ritualist. This is a 3 mana 4/4 taunt with a battle cry. Add a random 4-cost minion to your opponent's hand. I think this just sucks. I think this just sucks. Like I don't. This is like the only way that this is ever good is if your opponent has 9 cards, and they've just played Polkelt, right? And like you put a 4-cost in their hand and then they overdraw their. But like this is just not good. I give it a 1.
Yep. Another card I didn't read the full way through until Nate said it.
It does have 4 lines of text though.
But if you read those 4 lines of text, it has this poisonous word where it says opponent. I'm not gonna give them anything, so this is a 1.
Yeah.
For me, I don't want to give anybody anything. I don't want to give my opponent cards. Like, yes, this is slightly good because it's a 3 mana 4/4, but and now you're just basically you are giving them an on curve card for their turn 4, right? So how about no?
Let's just call this bad and move on.
Yeah.
It's worth noting. you're really going to like revolving into this card. You're really going to like evolving into this card. This card isn't here for you to play it. This card is here for it to be in the pool for you to evolve or resolve into. So that's what it's there for. The card itself is a 1.
Cool. I like that. That's a good assessment. All right. Next up is the Derailed Coaster. Now this is funny because Celestalon on Twitter had something to say about why is Bumper Car a mech and Derailed Coaster is not a mech.
Hey, yeah.
He said it has to do with the inner workings of what the vehicle is, and that this sits on the track, but like the bumper car is like self-propelling or whatever. Like it's some goofy.
I mean, that actually makes sense. I don't consider a roller coaster.
I'm confused, but okay.
I'm too tired to look it up and read it, but
yeah, it's okay.
It tracks though.
It's essentially. So this is a 5-mana 3/2 battle cry. Summon a 1/1 rider with rush for each minion in your hand. This is just does not seem good. This is, I think, one of the orphan cards of Hearthstone. Remember a couple sets back when they were trying to push like hand mage and hand druid? Like, is this something like that? Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know. I don't see any world that this is good at all. This is just a 1 for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a 1. I don't. No, it costs 5. It's a 1.
I like the artwork. These guys are freaking out on that roller
yeah,
coaster.
Back to the artwork. Oh yeah, if we had a whole set review on artwork, yeah, top 10.
It's a 1. This is not good enough to play. Sorry, card.
The flavor text is so long as it doesn't so long as it doesn't kill you, it's considered part of the ride experience. This is a 1-star card, but that's hilarious.
Even like Ben is saying, even if it was a mech, like who cares?
It's still a 1.
Hey, just to give him a little bit of street cred, you know what I'm saying? Some hair on his chest, man. Damn.
Then you could discover it from, like a Dr. Boom Mad Genius, and it would still be bad. You would still choose something else.
That's pretty funny.
Actually, I'm glad it's not a mech.
Yeah.
Thanks, Blizzard.
All right. Next up is we're moving into the epics. This is Horrendous Growth. This is a 2-mana 2/2. Corrupt. Gain +1/+1. Can be corrupted endlessly. Now, I feel like that's a little bit of a I don't think that that's entirely accurate, right? Because the way that corrupt works, like you have to play a bigger and bigger and bigger card. And like at some point this has to stop, right? Like I can't play anything bigger than like a 10/10, right?
So the Horrendous Growth itself is always at cost 2. The +1/+1 is just in the stats.
Oh, is that so? I could play a 3/3/3, a 4, a 4, a 5. I see. So this can keep growing. Yeah. Okay. I mean, that's clever.
Yeah.
I still don't see myself putting it in anything, unfortunately. No. So I don't know. I mean, I just don't see any like Wild is so refined. I don't see putting this like honestly like in any Res Priest 5-star. Yeah, I give it a 1. I just like it's clever and it's cute, but I don't know what it goes in.
Yeah, if it had taunt, maybe, but
I don't know. Like, look at I've been playing duels, right? And there's one of the prize cards that you get is a 2-mana 2/2, and every turn it sits in your hand. It gains +1/+1, and that still isn't, and it has taunt, and it's still not that good. Like, I don't think this is any better. Like, I just our decks are so good. What does this go in? I don't think it goes in anything.
Yeah.
What do you give this one, Mike?
Everybody, welcome to the Darkmoon Faire. This is a this is a 1. Pass.
Yeah, like you can't compare this to something like Edwin that you can just like drop on the board early game. This is something that sits in your hand slowly, building up and building up and building up, and then cool. Later in the game, you can drop a big bomb for 2 mana. I feel like it's too late, and you've just had a card sitting in your hand for no reason the entire time. So it's a 1.
2 words. Even Paladin. This card is still a 1, but the flavor text is stop picking at it. You're only making it worse. This card is great. It's a one star card though.
All right. Okay. Next up is Carnival Clown. This is a 9-mana 4/4 taunt with a battle cry. Summon 2 copies of this. Corrupt.
Oh man.
Corrupt. Fill your board with copies. So here's the thing: nine mana, and you get 3 4/4s with taunt. And if you play something like that costs 10, then you play 7 4/4s with taunt. So here's my problem: like, how do you like this? Costs 9. That's
survival of the fittest. Now you have 7 8/8s.
Yeah, I don't see how you play like. This is so slow for wild. That's my problem. I keep hearing people talk about this. I keep hearing people talk about this card, and I can't figure out why. Like, in what world it's good.
Wait, people have been talking about this card?
I have seen a couple posts on it. So I don't know. This is a 1 for me. If someone can big brain it, like, that's cool. But I don't see how it's good. It's a 1 for me. Mike, what do you think?
I give it a 2 because the only way I see it working is getting the +4/+4 off of survival of the fittest. So somebody somewhere is persistent enough and stubborn enough, they'll figure it out. So I'll sit here, patiently wait, and then once the code comes along, I'll grab it and I'll play it.
I mean, at least Anduin doesn't kill it with its battle cry, so that's something. It's still a 1.
Okay. So hear me out. You're playing Shaman. What card do you like to play in Shaman? Shudderwalk. Very much Shudderwalk. It says copies of this.
Ooh.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah, but then wouldn't Shudderwalks do the same thing? Like summon 2 copies of Shudderwalk? Like,
yeah, but if it's corrupted, then the battle cry is summon. Fill your board with it. So step 1, you get the Hog Rider so that it gives it charge.
Yeah.
All right.
Step 2, you corrupt this. Step 3, you play this. Step 4, you play Shudderwalk.
It's very possible.
Are there any 10-mana spells in Shaman?
There's one. There is one. It's the one that makes a ton of taunts and it overloads for 3. But corrupt can also be a minion.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
So you can play
Yogg. There you go.
Yogg. Perfect. So is this gonna be good? Oh goodness no. Am I gonna do it? Oh yeah. In actuality, this is a 1-star card, but man, I'm gonna have fun doing that. So I'm giving it 2 just for the memes. This is gonna be a clown fiesta, which is perfect because it is a Carnival Clown.
Carnival Clown.
Wow.
Let's go.
All right.
That was a fair. Anyway.
All right. This is our last epic here. This is the Darkmoon Rabbit. This is a 10-mana 1/1 beast with rush and poisonous. It also has cleave, which damages the minions next to whomever this attacks. They just need to make it a keyword. Okay, this is clearly a throwback to Monty Python and the Holy Grail, which makes me happy. I think this card is great if you're able to cheat it out, but I don't see how you can cheat it out aside from using Master Oakheart, which then costs 9 mana. So the effect, right? The effect is awesome, but it's so expensive that I don't see it being good. I love the idea and the flavor of it. This is also a lore card for sure. This is in WoW. We'll talk about it next week. There's lore.
Oh, cool.
But that being said, like, it's so much. Unless someone can like big brain how you get this out. The Oakheart was all I could think of, and like, It just doesn't seem remotely good to me. This is like a joke. What do you guys think?
Yeah, so I put a post up, and Celestalon had liked it. How to get rank 1 legend. So what you want to do is put this in your deck, right?
Okay.
And then you want to combine it with Deck of Chaos, and then just completely obliterate every person you come
Ooh.
across. All the way to rank 1
Yeah,
legend.
there you go. What is that? A 1 mana 10/1? All right, OP. There you go.
Sure.
I'll give this a 1. It's a 1.
With Deck of Chaos. Oh my god.
That's perfect.
I feel like when they released this card or printed this card, it was just completely a joke. Like that's
This card makes me love Hearthstone. Like they have fun with this game. Like look
Yeah,
at this
like,
stupid card, dude.
here you go. Check this out. It sucks.
This is stupid.
Right? Just for fun. I mean, maybe one day there could be something crazy, but it just seems like a big joke to me, and I'm gonna be a little disappointed. It feels bad when maybe you're on a bit of a budget and this is the epic that you get.
Right.
Ooh.
When there's like you could get Tent Trasher instead, but you pulled this, so it's a bit of a bummer. 1 star card for me.
So, like y'all said, 1-star card, but the flavor text, of course, is also a Monty Python reference. That's no ordinary rabbit. That's the most foul, cruel, and bad-tempered rodent you ever set your eyes on.
Well, that is like a direct quote. Wow.
Yes, that's perfect. So, 1-star card.
At what mana cost is this good? 5
6?
maybe?
5, 6, yeah.
3.
Oh, that'd be OP at 3.
If it was 3, we'd start like running it in decks.
Right?
Okay.
By
all
OP, I mean overly playable.
No, this is not a rebroadcast. We're still going at it. We're at 10 hours and 3 minutes. This is part 4 of 4, and we have 5 cards left. They're all legendaries, and then we're done. So yes, we have been going since 8 o'clock this morning. We tend to go long. It is what it is. All right.
It's wild.
That's right. Okay, Silas Darkmoon. This is the 7 mana 4/4 battlecry. Choose a direction to rotate all minions. All right, raise your hand if you have messed up the battlecry before. No. Oh god, I have. Like when you look at it, because it shows like rotate this way, rotate that way, and like I had to kind of guess the first time I played it. Or like think it out, because it truly like rotates in a clockwise circle or counterclockwise, I suppose, the direction that you choose. This card is interesting for me. Clearly, there is lots of lore here. People are experimenting with it right now. I think mostly because it's new. That being said, I think that it does have potential to be extremely disruptive. Really what it makes you do now is be more careful about the placement of your cards. Like if you've got a great card, you don't want to put it on the outside edge. I had someone playing odd. So okay, of course we all know now about the OTK potential in Odd Warrior, where you play this. There's what is it? You play this. You play the card that when it takes damage, it damages the hero, and then you shield slam it for a ton after you rotate it. That being said, I had someone playing this in Odd Warrior who stole my Mal'Ganis because I had played the Mal'Ganis on the outside edge, and they just took it. And and that made me so angry. And so there is disruption potential. And I think that you can, because then, hey, it's not in my res pool anymore. Hey, I can't resummon it. Like I can't, there's potential. I gave it a 3 for playable because I think that it's not bad. I don't think that this now starts getting slotted into meta decks per se. but it feels only so to me. Remember when we all got Marin the Fox at BlizzCon, and everybody played with it for 2 weeks because it was new, and then they stopped because it was bad? Like, that's probably what this is in my mind. I mean, I think it's playable. Like, there's potential for disruption and like the bizarre OTK type stuff, but so I think it's better than Marin the Fox. That being said, like, do we play this long term? I don't know. No, yeah. I gave it a 3 because it's playable. It's probably more of a 2. Mike, what do you think?
I think so. Yeah, like compared to physical card games, every new set there's going to be like that alternate promotional card. Like this falls in that category for Hearthstone. This is the promotional card for the set. I feel like out of all the promotional cards, this one will last the longest. So I think I'll still see this in like a week or two, because I know the set comes out Tuesday. But I feel like after like November, which is ends in 2 weeks, if even that long, like I won't see it anymore. I feel like it was just like, it's exciting. It moves around a minion. People are waiting for the new set. But I think once like new gods hit, new old gods, and just like basically all these new cards and stuff, all the new stuff we can do. I think just this effect won't be as cool or as like exciting, and it'll just fall out. So I'll give it. I want to give it a 3, but I'll give it a 2.
Yeah, I think the longest lasting promotional one is probably Archmage Vargoth.
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Vargoth is still being played to this day.
Yeah. So
my bad.
This card,
it's all good.
Put some respect on his name. I gotta put some respect.
This card is definitely effective. I mean, I've seen it go off multiple times with the Shield Slam combo. It's not difficult to pull off. Whether it's going to be sticking around and played all the time, I kind of doubt it. So that's why I'm going to... It's playable, but I think it's fringe playable. So I'm going to give it a 2.
Yeah, I've done this this combo against someone who is in chat right now the first day that it was dropped, and I have not seen this card since that first day. It's fun.
Dang.
It's really, really fun to do, but it's not really competitive. That said, I'm gonna give it a 2 just because it's something that we can probably expect to try to play around a decent amount.
Yeah. Okay, we are on our final 4 cards, and they are the 4 old gods, so that's exciting.
Yeah, it is.
All right, so here we go. The new Cthulhu. This is Cthulhu the Shattered, a 10 mana 6/6. Start of game, break into pieces. It breaks into 4 pieces. Battle cry, deal 30 damage randomly split among all enemies. Okay, let's talk about first the fun factor, right? Lots of flavor. This is cool. The 4 different cards, I don't have the artwork for them, but essentially like they're pretty good. What do they cost? 5 mana or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. 5 neutral.
And they're pretty good. That being said, like this is like the slowest of the slow. And here's there's just an incredible downside here, okay? Because this card requires you to play all 4 parts of it, and then once you play the 4 parts, it's not like you get this in your hand. Like you play the 4 parts, and then this gets shuffled into your deck. And to make matters worse, like if one of the 4 parts like gets either counterspelled or gets like disrupted by Oh My Yogg, like you're just screwed, right? This is just dead now. So like God, I love the idea of it. It's so cool.
So you have to pay 20 mana just to put it together, and then it goes into your deck, and then you have to pay another 10 mana, so that's 30 mana. Oof.
Okay, remember when we were playing what is it, Rin?
Rin, yeah.
Yeah.
And you had to pay a whole mess of mana, and like we tried it out for a little while, and even then and even then, like, it's not that great. So, I mean, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna play it. Like, um, but is it actually good? Like, does it see any competitive play? No. I'm sorry. This is a 1. I feel really awful for saying that. But like, it's so expensive, and then like after you've played 20 mana, like you still have to find this in your deck. Like, no, thank you. I'm sorry. I'm gonna play it for fun. So I saw someone post something asking if the old Cthulhu cards buff this Cthulhu. I sincerely doubt it, but that would be pretty cool.
That would be tight.
But like, for heaven's sake, I don't know. I mean, someone please prove me wrong, but like, I don't see it. Wild is so refined that, yeah. Do you put it possibly in Druid with Ysir or whatever her name is that makes all the spells cost 1, and then Sathravar? So like,
Yeah.
I'd rather
you
use
could do it.
Malygos.
You could do it on a like a Clark Hellscream OTK video, but like, I don't think that you do it competitively. So I mean, this is a 1 for me, and I think especially like there's so much disruption in Wild that like when one of the 4 parts gets counterspelled or tweaked for whatever reason, like then your whole thing whiffs. I just don't see it. So yeah, that's a 1 for me, an apologetic 1. Mike, what do you think?
All right, so for me, it's a 3. So I see and I hear everything you're saying, Nate.
Yeah.
I'm thinking a little bit outside the box, and I'm gonna have to for this kind of card. So this is more trying to defend it and preach for it. I see it applicable in different ways. First one, not to say I'm reading chat and cheating, because I already got my own little notes here, but one thing I wanted to try was to slide it into Mali Druid, because the spells that are the pieces, 2 of them deal damage. 1 is 7 damage split. 1 is deals 3 AoE. Another one is single target removal. So, like I explained earlier with that Druid legendary, there would be times where I have to use the spells that's meant for face to clear. So that spell that would activate the next spell playing twice, I would use and swipe in that scenario. Now I feel more comfortable having this because these 2 spells, at least 3 of these spells, deal damage and clear minions. That's the goal. Another thing I was thinking, I made a Theorycraft Wild Spell Mage list last set that Neon had retweeted that I feel like I could tweak and make for this set as well. I feel like it works there. And then last, I feel like this could work in a rogue deck. I just feel like there's ways to make this card work very good, and I'm definitely going for it day one. Like, I'm gonna try to figure out how to make this work.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, yeah, you were 3. I'm going to go with a 2 on this one. Speaking of rogue, you could play Stowaway to draw the pieces.
Yeah.
So like you're guaranteeing you're getting them, right? So you're able to do it. So that's a way to tutor those pieces. I think this is going to be quite fringe. So that's what I think Rogue, it may be where the home for this could be in Wild, but it's going to be super fringe. And I think if you're playing Rogue, you're playing a different deck. But I love to see it. I can't wait for somebody to kill me with it. But so yeah, that's a solid 2 for me. How about you, Sheep?
I love Cthulhu. The Old Gods, like Whispers of the Old Gods, is my favorite expansion. I'm going to be playing this card. I'm going to be crafting this card in gold.
Wow.
But
I wish it was good. I really wish it was good. The flavor text is, my grandfather's deck has no useless cards. As for you, Mike.
I like that.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's a 2. Like, I'm not going to give it a 1 because it's not completely unplayable, and it's only not completely unplayable because I'm not the only person who absolutely loves Cthulhu.
Mm-hmm.
People are going to play it because they want to make it work.
Yeah.
Is it going to be viable? No.
Nope. But I'm here
So
for
it's not unplayable, but it's not playable either, truthfully. So it's a 2. It is pretty much like the epitome of a 2, unfortunately. Especially because I'm going to have it in gold.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Next up is N'Zoth, God of the Deep. This is the 10 mana 5/7 battle cry. Resurrect a friendly minion of each minion type. I am cautiously optimistic about this. It's not nearly as good as the other N'Zoth, right? Like, this is meant for some kind of menagerie type thing. That being said, I think that there are several different ways to make this playable in a handful of different decks. The one that I'm going to be trying out that's going to be terrible is going to be in my Hadronox Druid.
Yeah.
When we get that free legendary with the new quest thing, this was my free legendary. So,
Oh, there you go.
Although N'Zoth is my favorite old god, I have to craft this in gold probably. That being said, like, do I think that this is particularly good? Like, this is a worse N'Zoth the Corruptor. But I think that there's some fun potential here. It's definitely playable. It's definitely, and I have to wonder, do you run both N'Zoths if you're running this type of deck? Like, I don't know. I think that this, this goes in this new like menagerie type of deck, but I don't know. I mean, I initially scored it a 4, which I think is probably too high. I definitely think that it's playable. And I think that there's some potential here. I'm just going to keep it with my 4. I actually like this one. It's probably not worthy of a 4, but I enjoy it. Mike, what do you think?
What was your rating? Sorry, kind of cut out for me.
I gave it a 4.
Got you. Okay. Yeah, for me, I'm gonna give this one a 3 as well. I think at first when I saw it, I was like, "This is goofy," and historically, for me, when I have that reaction, like 4 days after the card comes out, it's like really good, and I'm like, I should have thought more about how it works. So earlier, one of you guys said something that made me think, and I'm looking at Paladin cards. I think it was Nate. It might have been Nate, and and I have to approach this with like a blank slate, new mind, fresh mind. So like, if this is built correctly, like you could be bringing back cards like Shrivala, cards like Ragnaros the Light Lord, cards like Ziliax. You know what I'm saying? So like, I want to give this card a 3. I think that there could be something here.
It's definitely versatile depending on how you build. Like, you have to build your deck around this.
Yeah.
But the potential to bring back some cool things. Is Shrivala a beast?
Yeah, like this. I'm sorry, I didn't finish my thought. And I'm sorry for Paladin. I feel like something slick could happen here in Paladin. Yeah, Shrivala is a beast.
Yeah, that's the home I was seeing it in. Was probably Paladin when I first saw the card, because this is like they announced the old gods right at the beginning. I looked at it and first thing I thought is this is clearly worse than the original N'Zoth. But after seeing some more cards, I definitely think it can be playable. I see its home also in Paladin. Druid maybe for fun. I don't know. I don't see it as a 4 because that would mean it would be played in meta decks, but I do think it's playable. I'm going to give this one a 3. I think it's going to be super fun, and I look forward to playing around with it, but I'm not sure if it's going to be fully meta, so 3.
What about on the top end of a Galakron Warrior when it brings back the Rush Dragon and the Rush mechs and stuff like that? I don't know. It's probably not good enough. I mean, it's a worse N'Zoth the Corruptor. But
I think that N'Zoth, God of the Deep, is why you don't run Snip Snap in Galakron Warrior. Because I think that you cut Snip Snap for this, and also you don't want to resurrect a 1/1, right?
Yeah.
But I think that you do just kind of jam this in there too. Like, I hate to say may as well, but kind of may as well. Like, you get a pirate that goes face. If you have a weapon, probably have a weapon. Who knows? You have a rushing dragon. Is any of this going to be good? Maybe. I'm going to go ahead and say yes, but just because, like, it's an old god. This is probably, going to be one of the better old gods. And, I'm going to craft it in gold. So there's also going to be that. So I'm going to go with a 4 for this one. The flavor text, of course, reads, "It really just wants to cuddle all the creatures of Azeroth."
How cute. All right. 2 left. All right. Next one up is Yogg-Saron, Master of Fate. 10 mana, 7/5. Battle Cry. If you've cast 10 spells this game, spin the wheel of Yogg-Saron. I think that you like number one, fun level 1000. Okay.
Oh yeah.
I think on stream Tice was playing this and got the first lethal with the wheel, the Pyroblast one, which was pretty fun to watch. But okay, the card is clearly fun, right? I don't recall off the top of my head what the other wheel things do. Do you guys know?
Seeing if I can pull it up real quick.
Yeah, I'll look at it.
Like,
I remember fill your board with random minions. Yours have rush.
okay.
Oh, okay.
Is one of them.
I don't think any of them were bad per se.
Yeah, none of them.
I think
are
one of
bad.
them is just regular Yogg, right?
Oh,
I got it ready.
yeah.
All right. Mind Flare Goggles. Take control of 3 random enemy minions. Hand of Fate. Fill your hand with random spells. They cost 0 this turn.
Ooh.
Curse of Flesh. Fill the board with random minions. Then give yours rush. So fill the entire board. Then yours get rush.
Okay.
Rod of Roasting. Cast Pyroblast randomly until a player dies. And then Devouring Hunger. Destroy all other minions. Gain their attack and health.
Okay. I like this better than the original Yogg. I've seen some people playing this in Druid just as like a top heavy, like Hail Mary. I think that it's definitely super fun. Do I think it's competitive? No. Do I think it's playable? Yes. I give it a 3. I don't think that it goes in all that much, but like, I mean, I like it better than the original Yogg. I think it's pretty fun anyways. So, yeah. What do you think, Mike?
Oh, if I don't get this golden, I'm really going to try my best to craft this golden. This one's a slam dunk. For my streams, this is a 5-star card.
Yeah, buddy.
But for this rating score sheet, I'm going to give it a 3.
Yeah, I also agree with you guys on the 3. I feel like it's just so fun, and it's going to be a great time. It's going to get a lot of highlights. You're going to see it on YouTube all the time. However, you're going to rely on one of these results, and there's going to be one that you really, really need to win the game. You're not going to get that. You're going to roast yourself in the face. Like, I don't know. It seems like it's just going to be this weird sort of roll the dice when your game plan didn't work out, just like the original Yogg sort of thing. But the fun factor, I think, is even higher because you don't know which one of these you're going to get.
Yeah.
So it's definitely really, really fun. Is it competitive? I don't think so. Yeah. So it's a 3. It's definitely playable. Is it going to be hardcore meta or meta defining? That's a no for me. So 3.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%. I've already said I'm going to craft a 2-star card in gold, a 4-star card in gold, and this is going to be a 3-star card that I'm going to craft in gold as well. Because I mean, You've got to. And the flavor text for this one, of course, is Yogg take the wheel. He's spinning the wheel and he's taking fate, like the Jesus take the wheel thing. Yeah, it's perfect.
It's perfect. Yeah. It's clever. That's very clever. All right. Our last card, Yasiraj the Defiler. 10 mana, 10/10. Battle Cry. Add a copy of each corrupted card you've played this game to your hand. They cost 0 this turn. So this is essentially a 10 mana 10/10. Add 0 cards to your hand. So here's the thing. I think that in standard this is probably not bad because you're probably playing more of the corrupted cards in standard. Now, in a world where you've played a handful of corrupted cards, like playing a bunch of them for 0 could essentially like let you take back a game that you were losing before. But the corrupted cards are all so slow, especially in Wild, where like Wild is fast. Like this loses to Kingsbane, this loses to Pirate War, this loses to Galakron, this loses to Q-Block. Like I unfortunately, like the fun level is definitely there. The artwork is amazing. But like the corrupt cards, I think unfortunately are just not very good. Yeah, right. The opponent just plays Zephyrs and clears the board. So for me, this is just a 1. I feel bad, but like, playing a bunch of 0 mana cost cards is good, but this requires you to play them all first. So, I mean, this will be interesting when somebody plays this in like some big competition. But like, I don't think that the card is very good in Wild. Mike, what do you think?
Damn, yeah, you kind of stole my thunder there. I was kind of hoping to shock the world and be like, yeah, I'm going to give this a 1 because I think this sucks. I think it's mega crap. I think it's the worst one out of all the gods. The only way this ability is good to me is long game shaman if you like get the battle cries off for the Shudderwalk, but like even me saying that just now sounds stupid. That shows how dumb this card is. So I won't dust it because I have to get that achievement. Feel me? So I'll keep it there, but it's a 1.
Yeah, I think its biggest problem for Wild is this hinges on you playing corrupt cards. In Wild, you're playing on curve, right? And those corrupt cards, you're sitting around, you're waiting. They're way too slow. This is too slow. It's all too slow. Yeah. I feel like you're dead by the time you're going to play this card.
Well, and you have to play the corrupted cards the same turn that you play this. Like,
yeah,
so like it's oh god, like if you could sit them in your hand and play them when you wanted to for 0, like okay, maybe, and even then it's probably too slow. So
yeah, it's just slow. It's sad. It's really cool. And if corrupted is limited to this set, then it's not going to continue to be supported. I don't know if they've said that for sure, but it seems way too slow. Sorry,
I get the feeling it is restricted to the set.
Yeah, so it's a big fat 1.
Unfortunately, they say that, but I could see later they could always say, "Oh yeah," or "Hey, this midway
like a callback card or 2."
Yeah, or this midway set, this 35 cards, maybe 5.
Oh, true.
Maybe 5 of them have corrupted. I don't know, maybe not. What do you think about this card sheet?
Well, this is the 1-star card that I'm crafting in gold.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh man.
Oh well. Okay.
The flavor text, though, Yasharj made an excellent office intern, and he's still an intern, doing the copying and the defiling.
Wow.
Because he's the defiler.
Wow.
The
copying and
the review
defiling.
show ends with a whimper.
All right. So let me ask you: is there a way to show us the top card? Oh yeah, here. I can sort this, right? Sort by Z to A. Okay, so I got it. No, I got it. It's fine. I got it already. You're good. So let me just take this guy off the screen here take our scores and
We already have it on the separate tab of the same one you already have open.
oh, well, I've got it sorted here. So, let's take a look at our top 15 or so. Yeah. All right. It's so tiny here, but it's there. Okay. So here's our top 15.
Top 15? Okay.
Okay. I'll start at the bottom and work our way up. So, Cage Match, Custodian, then the Nameless One, then the Blood of Gahoon, then Sage, Seer of Darkmoon, Ringmaster Watley, Palm Reading, Insight, Lothraxian the Redeemed, Carnival Barker, Occult Conjurer, Lunar Eclipse, Deck of Chaos, and Solar Eclipse. Those are our top 15. Oh, is that 13? Oh, my bad. It's because
wait a second.
two more. Let's see here.
No, just one more. Oh no, yeah, two more because you won the top 14 on.
Then it was Omayog and Hammer of the Naru.
Oh, okay.
Were the next
go.
two. Although technically there's one more because these three had all tied for 3.5. So it's N'Zoth, God of the Deep.
And Tent
Holy
Trasher
slid
as
in.
well.
Okay.
Oh, did I miss? Oh, I missed Tent Trasher. You're right.
Oh.
Also tied.
Nice.
Yeah.
Leaderboard trasher.
Okay. Yep. So, I mean, that's interesting, right? I think that that was fun, you guys. Hey, guess what? We just hit 10 hours and 33 minutes.
Is that a new record?
New record?
I think because we recorded this nonstop, nobody dropped out. And so the stream has been going this entire time. 0 dropped frames. I'm so,
0 dropped frame.
I'm so proud. So that's cool. Well, thank you guys very, very much for hanging out all day. It's been a blast. I'm looking forward to this. Now I know what I want to play. Thank you, chat, for hanging out. Like, we've had a full chat all day long, and it's been so fun. I'm very tired now, but we did it. It was a blast. Thank you everyone for hanging out. Hey, just as a quick sign off, Mike, where can people find you that want to follow you, watch your content?
Well, yeah, you guys can catch me on Twitch at MichaelOTV. I'll drop that link in chat.
Sweet. Hydra, what about you? Where can people find you?
You can always find me here on the podcast, usually on Friday nights at 6 p.m. Pacific time. And you can find me on Twitter and Twitch at Hydralisk_HS.
Very cool. Electric Sheep City, thank you so much for donating your day to us. Thank you very much for putting together grabbing all of the card art and for putting together this giant spreadsheet is so helpful. Love hanging out with you. Love having you on the show. So
always a blast. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, thanks, Sheep.
And where can people find you if they want to follow you, watch your content, and all of that?
Yeah, so I can be found at Twitch at twitch.tv/electricsheepcity and on Twitter at eSheepCity. They cut me off there and couldn't have quite as many characters, so eSheepCity over there.
Awesome. All right, and as for me, I'm most active on Twitter. It's at NateWolfTCG. More importantly, you can find the show and everything show related at borntobewildhs.com. That's borntobewildhs as in Hearthstone.com. Don't leave out the HS, otherwise you'll be in for a shocking surprise.
You might get a party snack. Watch out, man.
As for the show, typically we record Friday nights at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern at Twitch TV/BornToBeWildHS. We are a Wild exclusive Hearthstone podcast, and looking forward to it. Next week we'll be recording on Friday night. Our special guest will be Goliath the Dwarf, and we will be doing a lore show, lore of the Darkmoon Faire and the Darkmoon Faire cards. So that should be a lot of fun. We have done 2 lore shows in the past, learning about all the cards. It's a lot of fun. And it felt like good timing because the cards will be so new that nothing will be refined quite yet.
Yeah, so fresh.
Yeah.
Those lore episodes are always so much fun to watch too.
They're a blast. And like after with Lore Master Eve not being on Velen's Chosen anymore, there is that kind of like gaping hole in the lore area. And so the fact that we're able to bring Goliath on to do those episodes is an absolute blast. So
To be noted, she is back podcasting about Hearthstone on Blizzlet.
yeah, she's on Blizzlet now.
What?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's super cool, right?
know.
She's good people. So
Cool.
all right, you guys. I don't have anything clever to wrap the show up with today, but we have broken our previous record by 7 minutes, and
That's good enough for me.
Hey, Nate.
yo,
Two things. One, before we get out of here, do you think we could send this level over to Shia? Because the Hearthstoners, they're doing their part 2 tonight. Right?
Yeah,
yes,
she is on right now.
All right. Second part. Shout out to Sheep. Yo, you like a real life Spider-Man. You did 12 hours in that damn that suit. Oh my goodness.
It's starting to get a little sticky with all the web slinging we've been doing, huh?
Yeah. Real life Spider-Man.
yep,
Yeah, thanks for having me on. It was a blast, man.
absolutely.
cool.
All right, we'll catch you guys all next week, and we're gonna send the love over to Shia Wasena and the Hearthstoners on their round 2 review. Thank you everybody for hanging out tonight. Thank you,
Thank you.
chat. We will see you guys next week.